How you doing? Hopefully, I have no interruptions in this show. I don't know why I have no interruptions because I don't know why. Anyway, let's get into the show. Let's start it off with a new intro song we got for today, Miss Black Barbie. With first round, you get your ass knocked out in the first round. First round, we're gonna call this the Mike Tyson. Get your ass knocked out in the first round. You gotta tell her how you like this song, and if you like it, you also can subscribe to Miss Black Barbie channel. She got a YouTube channel with politics and songs and music and all kind of stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, I said what I said. Get your ass out the bed and get it. I'ma stay committed. You got the right one. Yo, I say what I say.
Oh, that's funny.
You can't get it, get out the way.
Get out the way.
I'ma stay with it. Yeah, they got the right one.
Yeah, time's up, ring, alarm clock. You missed the message, huh? And on the chopping block. Tick, 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 tock. Use a fed head, undercover cop. We bring the truth here. Well, Illuminati, the way my hips
Illuminati.
got you thinking naughty. Like Beyonce, get me body, or getting body, or leave your body. We know you don't want a motherfucking problem, cause our experts over here love to solve them. Do yourself a favor and leave with love. Hate to see your loved ones mourning on your loss.
Better bring a gun to a knife fight. Couple $100,000, get your life right. Don't talk about it on the phone, and you never let them know where your money or your home is. Don't get your people mixed up. Soon as money get involved, watch them all switch up. All till you fall and it feel good, don't it? Better watch them all, don't get caught up in the moment.
I'll let you be for a second just to watch greatness. Pick the motherfucking record. Record now, yeah. Learn the lesson. To be around me is the
Miss Black Barbie, we out here on here. We showcasing you.
Yeah, like those, presidents on my side, even when I'm run. Trumping everyone, just for fun. And keep them coming. Kingdom come. We know you don't want a motherfucking problem, cause our experts over here love to solve them. Do yourself a favor and leave with love. Hate to see your loved ones mourning on your loss.
Better bring a gun to a knife fight. Couple $100,000, get your life right. Don't talk about it on the phone, and you never let them know where your money or your home is. Don't get your people mixed up. Soon as money get involved, watch them all switch up.
The
all
money,
till
it's
you
a
fall and it
song.
feel good,
That
don't
dope.
it? Better watch them all, don't get caught up in the moment.
Give it up to Miss Black Barbie. Don't get caught up in the moment. Round one. We're going to be ready for round two when it come around. You know, we're going to be ready for round two. Whenever round two come out, we're going to be ready for round two. If that was round one, we're going to be ready for round two. Anyway, I want to welcome y'all to, I know about the education system, right, in America, right? Because I was statistically the dumbest person in the world. Me out of all people, I was the dumbest person in the world, statistically, right? And the stats went like this, right? Because this is how I was labeled the dumbest person in the entire world, right? Not just in one country. I'm talking about in the entire world, right? Me, I have that title, right? As the dumbest person in the world. You can Google it. If you look up in the Guinness Book of World Records, or you Google it, the dumbest person in the world, that's me. You have a picture like me, like ta-da! That's me. And how I became the dumbest person in the world, statistically, right, is because of the school system. It's not my fault. I don't think I was the dumbest person in the world, but that's what they labeled me as, right? And I tried to fight, and I took it to court. Right, I lost in court. It took the Supreme Court. I lost in court. In the Supreme Court, and say, "Look, you're just gonna be labeled the dumbest person in the world. It's not your fault. It's the system fault." right? And this is how I became the dumbest person in the world. I was the dumbest person in the dumbest school, in the dumbest city, in the dumbest state, right? In the dumbest country. So statistically, that's the dumbest person in the world, right? If I'm the dumbest person at the dumbest school, in the dumbest city, in the dumbest state, in the dumbest country, that means statistically I'm the dumbest. I'm last on all the polls. I'm last in the school. You know what I'm saying? And since I go to that school and it's in LA, you know what I'm saying? I'm the dumbest person in LA. And since LA is in California, I'm the dumbest person in California. And since it's California, United States, I'm the dumbest person in the United States. That's my stat, and I'm sticking to it. But I wish I had some damn in-home school, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Not in-home school, because my grandmother, like, she would have been my teacher, and that would have been a fucked up class right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't have brought my grandmother no shiny red apple. We had to bring her like a banana clip or something like that. No apples, bring banana clips. Right? We wouldn't have no regular classes. Like dance class would be crip walking class. English would be transferred to Old English. It'll teach you how to drink a 40 without leaving suds. Math would be selling weed. Chemistry would be cooking dope. Or report cards would come on an obituary. If we have a class reunion, it's going to be held in the state penitentiary. My grandmother, she'll treat like the army. At my grandmother's school, you got to shoot more motherfuckers before 8 a.m. than most motherfuckers shoot all day. I wasn't going to go to her school. I wasn't fit to go to that school, right? My grandmother had the crip school. She taught you how to crip walk and crip dance and throw up gangs. You know, sign language was gang signs, you know. You probably teach you how to throw up all the hoods in every neighborhood so you know what to throw up and when to throw it up. Right? But in LA, right, we need some kind of overhauling of the justice system, because how is it that everybody in LA is dumb? My son is dumb as shit. He thought the last 3 letters of the alphabet was TMZ. I said, nigga, that is a TV show. TMZ is not the last 3 letters of the alphabet. Right? And then my son had the nerve to he brought a girl over to the house, and immediately when my son brought the girl over to the house, I said, look, I got to call your mama. Right? I got to call your mama and let her know what type of niggas you messing with. Right? Put your mama on the phone. Right? Do you know your daughter is over here messing with no good ass niggas? I know, because he my son. This nigga barely can spell. He don't know how to do math. Who is your daughter fucking? Why is she making these decisions? And what's your name? Is you making the same decisions? we can have a father and son, a mother and daughter thing going on if you follow your daughter's steps, or she following your steps. I don't know. Right? But school out here is very, very bad, right? And you got it's most schools in LA. You got schools on them in every corner. High school. The same people, this is how the school is, right? And you go to the same people go to. It's like this. They got as they get the grade level go up, the schools get smaller. It's more elementaries. It's more junior highs than it is high schools. It's more elementaries than it is junior highs. So what happens is, it's about 10 elementaries surrounding a junior. It's about 5 elementaries that surround a junior high. When them 5 elementaries graduate, they go to that junior high, right? And when that junior high it's 3 junior highs surrounding each high school, right? And when they graduate, they go to that high school. So your path to basically from elementary all the way to high school is basically already set. That's why some of my brothers and people that's older than me had the same teachers I had. There's no turnover. They don't give a fuck how dumb you is or how much the teachers don't teach. But the teachers stay there for long periods of time. You'll find teachers there at the same school teaching for 40, 50 years, and none of the schools or none of the teachers or none of the parents or none of the kids ain't learned shit. But the teachers been teaching there for at least 20 years. I know them. My older sister had them in her English class. You know what I'm saying? My little homeboy had them in his English class. You know, my little cousin had her. And like, damn, we all had the same English teacher, and we all dumb as shit. We all had the same math teacher, born way back to elementary and shit like that. We still dumb as shit. Everybody in the neighborhood basically shared the same teachers. So we all getting out the same information. If nobody getting to get information, or one person ain't getting to get information, ain't nobody getting to get information. Because she don't teach or he don't teach different students separately. He teaches them all as a group. So no matter if you want to learn, right, or if you don't want to learn, you're going to get the same information from the same teachers that really don't give a fuck. Now, you have some teachers that gave a fuck. Everybody had them teachers in school that gave a fuck. You know the teachers who don't give a fuck. We had some teachers that we thought was cool as shit, but when we really look back on it, they wasn't cool. They were just lazy and fuck. They let us fuck in classes and let us do all kind of shit, gamble and do all kind of things that we thought was cool as students. But when you got older, it wasn't cool because you look like, damn, he should have been keeping us in class, or he should have been disciplining us more. He should have been more worried about our education than us having fun. But we didn't get that. And it's all because of the school system. So it's time to change that shit. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. I got it on mute. Look at this bitch. She act like she angry. I am so angry that Donald Trump going to do so. I am so angry.
This is why so many people are so mad about it, because they're just taking opportunity away from kids that don't have it. So billionaires, kids of billionaires, they have it. They go to private schools. Everyone else, 90%, go to public schools. Don't take away their opportunity.
How's that going to take away the opportunity? And Donald Trump do some shit that's memorable, right? When he signed the girls only sports, right? No men in sports, no boys in the bathroom. He had a lot of girls behind him. A lot of girls play sports and stuff like that, helping them, looking up, signing pens and stuff like that. He gave each of them pen. Hey, you want that, huh? You want this? Now, he got a many deaths of other many wannabe presidents signing an executive order the same time he's doing it. This is genius. This is fucking genius.
So let's stay on the facts.
Sorry.
All right, let's stay on the fact. What's up, Michelle? Who is that? David on the other channel on the Black Rose. David Tomlin. What's up with it? How you doing, Michelle? How you doing, David? I see you over there.
No,
I'm
do not
really angry
apologize.
about this.
No, because this
I'm
is what
really
people
angry.
need to hear.
I taught kids in Clara Barton High School in Brooklyn, New York.
Caroline, what do you say to critics of the president's education plan?
Where was their criticism of our nation's failing test scores for the last several decades?
And when they come,
The last several decades, huh? The nation's. You ain't say nothing about Baltimore school system, Washington, D.C. school system, Los Angeles school district. You ain't said nothing about these school districts, right? You always want to talk about the federal bureaucracy and this shit. Damn all that. What about the kids? The kids ain't learning shit. Something has to change. If it's been going on this long and the Department of Education, right, ain't changed that or ain't brought up the test scores in this long, something has to be done. Why is it that black people was more educated before civil rights than we was after civil rights? With all this no kid left behind shit. We don't want no kids left behind. So no matter if they're retarded or not, pass their ass. They done changed the grade system and everything. No wonder the kids dumb. You change the grade system to make it easier for the kids and they still can't pass. Think about it. They changed the grade system, their grading system. So no kids will be left behind and they still being left behind, or they because they passing them on and they're not giving them proper education to go forward. So they're still being left behind. No kids left behind. That shit left a gang of kids behind.
cut half the people, it's like evisceration by 1,000 cuts. So you want to do this? Have the fight with us in Congress. Let's make sure we get the issues out there. I'm so mad. I'm spitting mad about this.
The Department of Education was founded in the 1970s, and since then we have spent more than $3 trillion at this federal bureaucracy. What has been the return on that investment?
Democrats don't know how to spend money on shit. They spent $1 billion on the election and lost. Spent $3 trillion on education and lost. Right? Don't trust the Democrats spending money on shit. Everything they spend money on goes straight to hell.
For the American taxpayer, levels that are less than ideal, less than proficient.
Because it's hurting the people who can't vote. Children don't vote. Let's not take away their opportunity.
Our children's test scores are incredibly concerning when it comes to reading rates, literacy rates.
They can't vote. They can't spell and do math either. I think they need to know how to spell and do math to even fill out the application or the voting application to even get their voting privileges, right? So you talking about some damn, they don't even know how to vote. What about they don't know how to read? I think that's a little bit more important.
Math and science test scores, the numbers prove that, and this president is finally taking much needed action to return education to where it belongs, and that's to educators closest to students in their classrooms in their respective states.
Of that 25,000 strong union voted in the majority to stay at home for at least another 2 days to defy Chicago Public Schools orders to return to the classroom.
Remember, she was with keeping the kids out of class, right? Don't let them go back to school. They're going to get the teacher sick. Now, all of a sudden, she regretted. But first, she was like, keep them out, keep them out. Now she's lying, talking about, I didn't vote for that. You lying hoe.
Does the AFT stand 100% behind the Chicago Union?
So, of course, we stand 100% behind the Chicago Union.
School closures, that's one of the big examples. And that has fueled...
Look at her then, now look at her ass now.
...a lot of animus towards the Department of Education, towards teachers' unions. Do you reflect on that? I mean, what are you taking away from that and the position that may have fueled sort of the support that allows President...
You damn right, because DOE was shutting down everything. Schools, we don't want to go back. We need the classes. We need the glasses. We need the shield. We need desks. We need fans. We need masks. We need this. We can teach from home. We don't want... They totally ruined our kids. And what? The Department of Education let them.
Trump to be in a position to do something that you find so problematic, like eliminating the Department of Education in all intents and purposes.
Is this school year probably not going to have full school openings?
So, Brianna, COVID was a terrible time for us. And as you know, because I was on your show a lot and other shows, I wanted schools to be reopened as early as April.
Liar! I wanted the school to be open as early as April. That's 2 months. That is 2 months. Our kid was out of school for damn near 2 years. You talking about in the first 2 months. A liar. We got evidence to prove it.
Of 2020, the issue was the fear and the issue was the safety issues.
Well, so I'm glad you asked that question, Chuck, because what does full school opening mean? If you do 6 feet of physical distancing, you're essentially saying in a school, you're going to have about 50% or 60% of people in there at any one time, not 100%.
When and how are we getting our students, our children, back into those classrooms full time?
So full time is going to depend upon what's going on with physical distancing.
Wait a minute. I thought you were for reopening schools in April. Now you talk about it depends and the masks and desks and 6 feet and all this other shit. But I thought it was going to reopen in April.
And what's going on with the variants. And I just hope this is not a rush to put in twice as many desks in a place where we're really starting to get things reopened.
I'm surprised to hear you think that this is a rush.
Revealing something to citizens, which is they don't want the most educated citizenry possible because it's not helpful to them.
But COVID has really hurt in so many ways. But this has been a Republican talking point for a long time.
People who can read and understand that climate change is happening are not favorable voters for them. People
who don't know how to read. So you saying, right, that the Republican Party only want dumb people. We only want people that are brainwashed. I think the Republican Party is a whole lot more educated than the Democratic Party. Look at the shit y'all believe in. Y'all disavow biology, talking about a man can have a baby and periods and all this sort of shit. Y'all totally get it. Y'all talk about men and sports and the world gonna end with climate change, and some of your belief system is not even logical. And it has to be, and only an idiot will believe some shit like that. Only an idiot will believe a man can have a baby. Only an idiot will. Right? Only an idiot believe that a baby is a fetus. It is not a human being when it has its own pulse, its own heartbeat, his own blood, his own blueprint to his whole body. But to a liberal, it's a fetus, and you want us to believe that. Some of the shit you believe in about the borders and the rapists and all, it takes an uneducated person to believe all this. But the Republican Party are the ones that with the dumbass people in it.
Who can read and understand what they're doing to Medicaid, to Social Security, what Elon Musk is doing. The better your reading comprehension is, the more you might not like what this administration is doing. So an educated citizenry is not in their interest, and they're coming for it.
The American Federation of Teachers president, Randy Weingarten, says the union is reserving judgment for now.
Why not trust the CDC's guidance?
We have to figure out in all these schools right now, which have been set up for 6 feet physical distancing, how this is going to work.
Less direction from Washington, let governors do their jobs, bring education decisions back to the states, back to the classroom.
What decisions do they are being mandated right now? That like, you work for which governor?
Christie, Governor.
So you work for Governor Christie. What governors were told you can't do what you want to do?
Look at the Democrat governor of Hawaii, right,
Okay.
who actually has the courage to speak up and say this.
Governor Green. Yeah.
Yes, unfunded mandates coming from Washington. You have to do this. They handcuff states. Mandates.
Well, but some of those mandates.
Handcuff states. She's gonna try to switch the conversation and talk about it's more of a civil rights issue. Her and the bitch Jessica off of the Fox 5, right? They gonna try to switch it and talk about it's really the Federal Board of Education, right? Department of Education is really civil rights institution. So we need them.
Mandates are you've got to get your reading scores up. Some of those mandates are you've got to make sure your 4th graders and your 8th graders, your scores you've been failing for decades or years, and whatever it is you've been doing isn't working. For the Title I money we're going to give you, you've got to make sure that your poor kids, that you're spending the resources adequately to make sure your poor children are reading on grade level.
And what happened to that? Well, they're not in Baltimore. No kid, not one single kid in Baltimore is reading at grade level. Right? It's certain kids out here ain't reading in grade level, and it's only because we got rich parts in rich cities in Los Angeles, in California. That's the reason why our school system ain't all the way fucked up like other states. But the public school system is real fucked up. So if they be getting that federal funding and they still don't know how to read and write, and they supposed to give them a mandate to bring up the test scores, what happens or what penalty do the Department of Education imply on the school if it doesn't bring up the scores? Do they stop the funding? Do they fine them? Right? What do they do? Because by law, if the federal government doesn't like, right, the results of the education of any particular school or anything, by law they must take it over. That's why they took over my old school called Locke. The federal government wasn't happy with the results, so they took it over. Now, right, they turned it to a charter school, But it's like the same teachers and the same things. Now they damn near finna switch it back, right, to a public school because the graduation percentages is still not as high as it's supposed to be. And the federal government took over the school, and they gave it. They got good classes. They got mechanic shops. I mean, it's ran different than any other school, so it should be a high percentage graduation rate, right? But when you just send the same kids, right, to the same school because you don't have enough charter schools, you're gonna get some of the bad people, or you're gonna get some of the fucked up people who just live in the neighborhood who don't really want to go to that school and don't really want no education. But if you have more charter schools, right, and stuff like that, where you can give a kid a choice, right, and that, well, I don't want my kid to go to Locke, I want them to go to a different charter school, right, over here, over there, it would be different because they would have options. But since you only got one option, you got to send your kid to that school, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they don't get in with the riffraff and get a good education because the kid, they can't get an education if they're in a great one because it's a charter funded school, federally funded. Right? But I don't think they're getting the results still as far as graduation and test results and shit like that. I still don't think they were getting the results they want. Right? But it needs to be more federal schools, and that's the only reason why.
So it's not, when you talk about these mandates, I think, conservatives have reduced this to bathrooms. Who gets to go to what bathroom and who gets to play what sports? When, again, we are in a national crisis. Our children cannot read. They are behind in math. And we're talking about jobs and careers of the future, and they're behind.
You recently pushed back on the CDC's new social distancing guidelines for schools from 6 feet to 3. Why?
Because, because trust is actually earned.
You're going to have everyone back in September, 100% in class 5 days a week?
I hope so. I would hope that Fox would be just as focused on let's get rid of the misinformation about what happened in this election. This election was free.
Come on, Randy.
This bitch supposed to be talking about COVID, and she's talking about the election. She's like, oh, come on, bitch. I wish Fox would stop spreading the misinformation. You can tell she's a liberal, right? Why would she get on Fox News? I wish Fox. You probably talking about COVID and opening classes. You want to talk about the election. COVID.
About what happened on let's get rid of the misinformation about what happened in this election. This election was free.
Come on, Randy. Come on. This is not the topic that we're here to talk about.
Why not tomorrow? I mean, literally, why not tomorrow? If 90% of your teachers are vaccinated, if we know what we know now, why not just go back to school in person tomorrow?
Well, frankly, 97% of the schools are open for in-person learning.
Not 5 days a week.
About 60% of them are. The real key right now is that about 2/3 of our parents, particularly Black and brown parents, don't trust it.
Right. They always blame it on Black and brown people. The COVID shot, the poor, anytime the transgender, Black and brown people, they always put it on Black and brown people. And they can get away with it. Racism on Donald Trump and Black and brown people on their side. They protecting the Black and brown people from the racist politics. That's their whole thing. Especially with our Black and brown community. That's their punchline. There's their long ass speech on whatever. I don't give a fuck if it's COVID. I don't give a fuck if it's Social Security. I don't give a fuck if it's food stamps. I don't give a fuck if it's transgender rights. They'll say a whole speech, and especially in our Black and brown community, right? Diseases. I don't give a fuck what it is. Poverty, homelessness. You name it. The Democrats said a whole speech, and especially in our Black and brown community. What? What did that got to do with COVID in schools? Did you see how she broke that 97% of our schools are open for in-person? Well, that's a damn lie. Well, actually 60%. Bitch, you broke it down to damn near half, and we know it's way lower than that. Come in 2 days passing your work and get the fuck up out of there. It's on the computer. The teachers didn't want to go back to school in certain states. Right? But they all, especially in our black and brown communities.
A huge role. I think COVID completely shifts the conversation around education. And if you look at which parties trusted more to handle education, Democrats used to have a huge advantage, and it's basically tied now. Sometimes they have a 1-2 point advantage. You saw it obviously in getting Glenn Youngkin in as the governor of Virginia. It was huge. And that Phil Murphy's reelect in New Jersey was close because of the COVID issue in education. So I would never want to minimize it. But Donald Trump just basically had a photo op today. He didn't dismantle the Department of Education. It has to be done by an act of Congress. And I know that really bums him out, that there are other branches of government. She's taking notes. Hero's taking notes.
Sure
it's going to be bad. But what he's doing is making life really hard for the DOE to operate. And that's going to have a big effect for sure. Randi Weingarten, and I've said many times, I'm not a tremendous fan of hers. What she is making clear in that interview is that the curriculums are actually set on the state level. So when you look at the lowest ranked states for education, least educated places like Arkansas, places like Mississippi, West Virginia, run by Republicans, that's on them for that. That's not on her. She's not setting the curriculum.
I know, Ms. Blackburn, I know immigrants can vote on a local school level. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be citizens. All they got to do is have an ID. They don't have. They got to have a residence in LA. All you got to do is have a name, match the residence, and you can vote. That's it. You don't need no ID. Your name, match the address. You don't have to have nothing.
What the DOE does and why it was created by Jimmy Carter and why probably you can't get Democrats at least to vote to abolish it is that it's a funding and civil rights enforcement organization. And when I hear Republicans out there talking about their plan for education in America, I don't hear them talking about making sure disabled kids have access to a public education. I don't hear them talking about
that's a stupid ass argument. They come with the stupid ass shit, right? Like some of the Republicans actually going to leave handicapped and disabled people out. Like they're not fighting for their rights in their education too. That's a stupid ass. That's stupid.
I'm against it. I know you are. Thank you for admitting it on such a public forum. They want to end up privatizing it. They want a voucher system, which means that kids who can't get to those schools, don't have enough money to, or frankly want to go to public schools, won't have access. And they also have.
They always say that. What happened to school buses? That would come out of Harris fought for. They always say, well, they can't get to school. Well, find a way where they can get to the schools. Or if every there's so many schools in Los Angeles, they would have no trouble getting to a charter school, right? Because they got to catch 1 or 2 buses out the way. There's schools that's less than 2 miles from each other. Right? They build schools in LA all the time. So it wouldn't be difficult for a kid to get to a charter school in LA if there was a lot of them. And send all the bad, fucked up kids to the public schools or to the probation school. They got detention schools out here, probation schools where the kids be bad as fuck. They keep them separate from the other kids. Make them go to them schools. But you want to talk about we don't want to have no kind of mercy education for handicapped people? Bitch, that's insane.
All of these religious kooks, like the superintendent of Oklahoma who wants to spend millions of dollars on Bibles for the schools, Trump Bibles, because it's all a grift. They want to make it private. They want to make them religious institutions. And that goes against what you're supposed to do in America. So does it need reform? Does it need to be made better? 100%. But come on.
Can I just say one more thing, since we're going to accuse the Republicans of not caring about disabled kids getting an education or poor kids getting an education? The Biden administration threatened to withdraw funding for student lunches if school districts did not force young women to have men in their locker rooms competing with them.
I brought that up on Facebook. I brought that up on Facebook to the Trump voters, and they were talking about, oh, he's going to defund the government. I said, okay, what about when he's going to take kids lunches? I mean, he's going to take money from kids and stuff like that. I said, well, y'all wasn't saying when Joe Biden was talking about taking the kids' lunches for the transgender shit, right? Y'all didn't say nothing about Barack Obama when he was talking about taking funding from Africa for the gay shit, right? They defend the gay shit, they don't defend the black shit, and you fight against Donald Trump for defending the right shit. What kind of sick shit is that? Donald Trump defend girls in sport, you want to defend against it, right? Donald Trump defends people that have been murdered by immigrants, and you want to defend it. What kind of shit is that? These motherfuckers got you so fucked up. You defending shit you know ain't right. That's what you call sick. Like when the people got up there and didn't clap, the Democrats didn't clap for the boy who had brain cancer, and you made an excuse and you agreed with him. That's how they got you so fucked up. That's why I'm glad I left the Democratic Party. And so many, and I'm doing a video kind of on that right now because they saying Republicans are saying they ain't getting what they voted for. Shit, most Republicans I know is getting exactly what they voted for. Huh? Donald Trump approval rate ain't going down, right? It's always going to be a lower approval rate for Donald Trump because you have people that absolutely hate Donald Trump. Like you say, it's nothing he can do. So it's always going to be a 40% of the country that absolutely hate Donald Trump. Absolutely hate him. Look at it. Look, it's 100% of the Democrats, right, in Congress. It's 100% of the Democrats in the Senate hate Donald Trump. It's not the one of them, probably Fetterman, right? But it's not a one of them other than Fetterman. We're going to say 99% then that likes Donald Trump, that supports Donald Trump, right? You have lots of Republicans that supported Joe Biden. Look at Liz Cheney, right? But if you go against the grain, right, the Democrats will destroy you. And that's one of the things. That's why I didn't do a video, Miss Chocolate Coco, yesterday, because I was looking up the video because I want to do a skit on how the Democrats is the party of the Nazis. You know what I'm saying? And I was Googling the information on that. I don't have to get with Charlie. Charlie, you on here? Where Charlie at? Charlie George on here? Yeah, Charlie, we're going to have to get some information. Damn it, Charlie. I'm glad I thought about that. Charlie, I'm going to need some information on some burnings back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Some racial KKK burnings. I'm going to need some videos on that, Charlie. I'm glad we're here. Write it down, Charlie. I need you to send me some racial ass videos or some burnings, you know what I'm saying, and some shit like that. Because I'm going to compare it to the Tesla burnings. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put them videos, splice them together, Charlie. So give me some videos of some burnings, some racist ass burnings. Burning, baby. Let's get it.
So if we want to talk about those types of things, we can. But that's not what the president did today.
All right.
Breaking news this hour with the New York Times now reporting that Elon Musk is about to potentially get access to some of the nation's most closely guarded military secrets. According to what the Times just reported a few moments ago and published on their website, the Pentagon is scheduled on Friday to brief Elon Musk on the U.S. military's plan for any war that might break out with China. After the Times published this article just a few moments ago, Sean Parnell, the chief Defense Department spokesperson, provided this statement, and I'm quoting him now. He says the Defense Department is excited to welcome Elon Musk to the Pentagon on Friday. He was invited by Secretary Hegseth and is just visiting.
What's out of the New York Times? It's such a dishonest newspaper. It's such garbage. It's, it used to be called all the news that's fit to print. Well, it's all the news that's not fit to print.
All the bullshit that they need to print, right? Putting in fake story. Oh, Elon is going to be a Chinese spy. They got Elon, got secrets over there. They're going to tell Elon, you got to give up the American secrets or else. Come on, man. They exaggerating. These motherfuckers reaching just like the phone call with the text phone call and shit like that. Oh, they got top secrets and shit like that. Well, the assassination is over. No Americans got killed, right? And it wasn't no names or no location or no motherfucking possible threats or anything listed on there, right? It wasn't shit, but the Democrats gonna blow that out of proportion. Look at this. This is fraud. They releasing documents this is the greatest security threat ever. Nigga, this is the greatest security threat ever in our lifetime. I heard one news, I said, what? So none of the shit that Hillary could have leaked, you know what I'm saying, or the other fucking Wiener or the shit Joe Biden got in the whatever, right? I thought Donald Trump shit was the worst leaks ever. We still ain't saw none of that shit. We still ain't saw none of the documents. But that supposed to be one of the worst security breaches ever. Now this is one, right? What? Nobody got the information. Ain't no proof that nobody got the information. Nobody was at risk of losing their life. But this is the greatest security threat of our whole life.
They have fake sources, or they don't have sources. I think they make most of it up. But this was a made-up story by the New York Times. I call it the failing. It's a failing newspaper. It's failing. And they shouldn't do that. They really are the enemy of the people.
And something else, I don't know.
We do need honest journalism in this. You know, we've made such big strides over the last 2 months, but we just need honest journalism, and we don't have it. When you have a CNN, you have to watch these people every once in a while just to see where they're coming from, and it's so dishonest. MSNBC is, I think, probably worse, and they're both doing horribly in the ratings. I think they're going to be turned off. I don't think they're not doing any ratings.
I thought this polling was interesting. This is whether Democrats should work with the GOP or stop the Republican agenda.
Work with the GOP or stop it, right? Think about this, right? And it's part of what I want to do in the skit, right? This is what the KKK done. They didn't want to work with the Republicans, right? The Republicans like niggas. They hated nigga lovers, right? So do you want to work and think about the so-called unity, right? When GOP said we want to work with you to make the country better, we want to work with all Democrats on passing these laws and things like that to make the country better. But the Democrats saying, do our party want to work with them on making the country better or fight against them on making the country better? What? How does that even make sense? If Donald Trump is trying to make the country better and you're fighting against him, that means you're fighting to make the country worse if you're not trying to make it better or to try to keep it the same. Right? Because people voted for a change and they're getting the change. Now all of a sudden you're saying that Donald Trump is making the country better, so we want to fight against that? The Republican Party is doing stuff to make the country better, so we want to fight against that? Huh? He's trying to stop wars, we want to fight against that? He's trying to hit other countries, terrorists, and bring businesses over here, we want to fight against that? He's trying to downsize government, we want to fight against that? We want to fight against everybody he hired, no matter if it's Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, or Elon Musk, right? You want to try to go after all his judges, right, that he supposedly put on the Supreme Court. You want to go after them, right? You want to go after everybody that support Donald Trump. If Democrats say, well, I don't like what the Democratic Party done, right? They would disown them and dox them and do all kind of horrible shit. Like that's what the KKK used to do. Try to scare through fear and all this old shit with fires and burning. That's KKK tactics.
But what I want you to look at here is how this has changed. And back in 2017, 74% of Democrats said they should work with the GOP. Now, 57% say they should stop the Republican agenda. There has been a complete shift in the mind.
What, you hear that? A complete shift. Now, 57 of them saying stop the Republican agenda. What is the Republican agenda? Is it what the Democrats said we ran on to stop people from voting? To take away women's rights? What executive order that Donald Trump passed since he's been in the White House that affected women's rights, that affected women's lives, that affected women's medical care? What law has he passed? It wasn't the LBT taking the Q off and the TQ off of it. Wasn't that? It wasn't taking the transgenders out of women's sports. It wasn't that. Name one executive order that Donald Trump passed that hurt women's rights. Name one law that Donald Trump passed right now that affect black people in a negative way. One executive order. Since we're going to go back into slavery and we're going to give a fuck about us. And name one executive order or one that he's working on or one that was in Project 2025 that he's talking about. Right? Name one. Right? See, that's what Democrats refuse to understand. Donald Trump is doing exactly what he ran on. He's not doing what you want him to do. You want him to stop deporting criminals to different countries? He's not going to do that. You want him to stop raiding and arresting illegal immigrants? He's not going to do that. You want him to stop going after so-called transgenders and stuff like that by keeping them out of sports and keeping them off of federal funding and things like that? He's not going to do that. Right? You want Donald Trump to keep funding the war? He's not going to do that. He's not going to do none of that shit y'all want him to do. Y'all want him to fire Elon Musk? He's not going to do that. Right? Y'all want him to keep all these damn government funds to other countries? He's not going to do that. Right? He is going to try to do no tax on tips. He is going to try to do no tax on Social Security. He is going to try to bring American businesses over here. Other countries, in fact, he is going to try to do that. He is going to try to make other countries have fair trade processes with us by lowering their tariffs so we can lower ours. Right? He done brought the price of groceries down. The private sector jobs done went up. The federal jobs done went down. Right? I mean, you want to fight him against that? Go ahead, be my guest. Because what Democrats don't understand is people are watching this shit. People are sitting at home, right? People are watching all these Democrats singing and going crazy, and they seeing this shit, and they thinking the same thing we thinking, like, damn, y'all still fight for immigrants? Y'all lost? Damn, y'all can't stand up for a boy? Y'all can't stand up for a kid? Y'all can't stand up for a father and mother? Right? Every time you turn around, the Democrats embarrassed about something. Right? Some embarrassed about the Democrats ain't fighting hard enough. Some embarrassed about how the Democrats acting. Some embarrassed about the Democrats ain't protecting their rights. Ain't angry enough. Right? But right now, you want to stop Trump agenda of making America great. I don't even know what kind of, I can't even comprehend no shit like that. He want to make America great again. Let's stop that shit. What? I can see if he like, I want to make America racist. I want to make America white. I want to make America Christian. I want to make America Baptist. I want to make America whatever, right? But he said he want to make America better. What? We got to stop this shit. If Donald Trump got up there and said, I want to make American Christian again, I'd be like, wait a minute, Donald Trump, there's lots of people, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even go for that. Make American Christian again. Hold on, Donald Trump, that's a little too far. I don't want to be a Christian. Right? I can see if he said, I want to make America white. Hold on, Donald Trump. I don't understand. You can't do that. I would be against that. I would even be against if Donald Trump said, I want to make America straight again. I said, no, Donald Trump. It's people that I got friends that are gay, you know what I'm saying? And they not messing no kids and no shit like that. They mess with grown people and they out the way, you know what I'm saying? They like men and that's what they do. Fuck it. They have their freedom. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to make America straight again. That's their own freedom. They can do what the fuck they want to. I wouldn't even go for no shit like that. But when somebody say, I want to make America great again, I don't know how to argue against that. Even if somebody was fucking up, I don't know how to argue against making America great. Huh? Would you want to keep America the same?
Mindset of the Democratic Party. They want resistance.
They
want a Tea Party.
100%. And what you just said, we should listen to the people. You said as a congressman, am I correct in saying that you just said we should listen to the people? Why aren't they listening to the people? There's no leadership. There's nobody doing anything. And what we saw, honestly, was a cave. Yet again, another example with.
And now I want people who are liberals to understand this. Why we have we have a clear leader. No matter what you say about Donald, you can say Elon Musk bought the election. He worked for Elon. You can say whatever the fuck you want to. We have a clear leader, and the world knows we have a leader. We didn't have that under Joe Biden, right? People still didn't know who controlled the Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi made that nigga step down, so evidently he wasn't the most powerful person in the Democratic Party. If another motherfucker make you step down, who you think we're gonna tell Donald Trump to step down? Donald Trump, we think you should step down. Like what? And let somebody else run because you got prison. Like what? They knew that wasn't gonna happen. Through all the jail, they knew it wasn't nobody. Ain't nobody in the world brave enough to tell Donald Trump no shit like that. That's close to him, supposedly. But how is Joe Biden the most powerful Democrat in the world, and the motherfucker told him to step down, get up out of here? Right? We have a clear leader, but how does it feel when every Democrat or every liberal anchor get on here and say we have no leader? There's no clear leader. Oh, this person come out. Oh, that person come out. But we have no clear leader. We don't have that in the Republican side. The election been over, right, for about 7 months. Donald Trump been president for about 3 months, going on 4 months, right? And you still don't have a current leader that's stepping out where people can get behind and got a clear message that people can follow. You still don't have that. You want to fight against something, but you don't want to fight for nothing. What is it? Okay, you fighting Donald Trump on this, but what did you fight for? If you're going against this, what is you going to give us? Right? What is you going to give us? If you're telling us it's going to, I got something better than this. Well, what is it? That's like somebody telling you, hey man, let's go over there and kill everybody in that house, and we're gonna come up. We're gonna be rich. You go kill everybody in the house, and everybody be like, well, what's the plan now? I didn't have no plan. We're gonna kill everybody in the house and figure out how we're gonna get rich later. No, nigga. Tell me how we gonna get rich. Why am I gonna go and do all this whole shit and go against this and go against that? Tell me what else you got better. That's what I want to know.
Schumer is saying, I don't want the smoke. And we're asking, I mean, they are begging. She just showed the dramatic shift. I don't understand what the problem is. Why is there nobody, for lack of a better word, with some cojones to stand up and say, what are we doing? What are we doing? Well, if look, you know we need it, and I'm not trying to give you the smoke, but if you know we need it, why is it not happening?
Look, we need to throw a punch. That's correct. And the American people want us to throw a punch.
By the way, your political punch, not literal punch, because then they're going to say stuff.
Now, of course, you know, the proposals that they're bringing are horrendous enough for us to do that, and we should do that.
What's horrendous about the CR? It continues funding the government at Biden.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They be always throwing some shit out, but they never show the evidence. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's going to do this. Oh, it's detrimental. Oh, it's racist. Oh, it's a bad policy. But they never tell you why. That's why I'm glad Scott did it. And they're like, nigga, what's bad about it, nigga? What's wrong with it?
What's about the CR is that it is a cut.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
If you do not consider the cost of doing business, if you do not consider that the cost of living, for example, has gone up, that everything has gone up.
Now you're changing. It's not a cut. You're being
dishonest.
It's a cut. It's not a cut.
It's a cut.
It's continuing
funding
the government at the same levels. It's not a cut. You voted to shut down the government. You voted to lay off every veteran in the federal government. You're making a passionate plea for why Democrats didn't shut down the government. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book tour because Democrats are so enraged that the government was. And I'm just confused because last week I was told that people going and
look, you can't have. Who used to do that back in the days? The KKK. I can't wait to make this skit, right? I can't make this. This is gonna be funny. Next, it's gonna be funny, right? But who don't allow people to talk? Who don't allow people to have meetings and stuff like that? I mean, it was like book tours. But remember, back in the day when black people and Republicans tried to hold like what's called them things? I forgot. Like kind of like a town hall or like voting. I forgot them things when you vote before the primary. I forgot what that thing was called. When they had them things and the Democrats came and the KKK came came and killed everybody, whites and blacks included. Why? Because they was there to kill Republicans, not just black people, also white people, right? They was, but it just so happened at some of the Republican forums or whatever, right? It happened to be more black Republicans there than white Republicans, right? That's why it was more black people dying at them events than it was white people, because there was more black Republicans there, huh? But the KKK didn't go after, just like they not going after black people now, right? They went after everybody Republican. It just so happened it ain't no more black people in the Republican Party right now. So they don't have to go after the black people no more. They can just go after Republicans. We removed the black people and got them on our side. Think about this, right? Think about this. The Democrats are slick motherfuckers, right? They removed the black people that they done put into slavery, had laws, done burnt them in cars, done took away their voting rights, done treated them like shit for all these years, right? They took these people, right? Because, like I say, the KKK was an organization against Republicans, right? And this so happened they used black people as a way to kill Republicans, right? It was a lot of white people on them black cars. The black cars with the black people. Kill this nigga, he's a black congressman. Kill this nigga, he's trying to run for Congress. They used to go outside some black Republicans' houses that was in Congress and Senate, say, nigga, if you vote this way, we're gonna kill you. And the Republican, I forgot the nigga say, well, nigga, you might as well kill me right now because I'm gonna vote that way. Huh? I'm going to vote that way. They rule by intimidation. What do you think the Republicans, the Democrats doing right now? Anybody go against when they going after them? Look at poor Chuck Schumer. Poor old Chuck Schumer. They going after his ass.
Expressing their First Amendment rights was part of their democratic and civic duty. And now Chuck Schumer can't even have a book party with Democrats over it. I'm trying to decide.
And tempers flaring coast to coast, voters confronting their lawmakers.
Not just Chuck Schumer, right? The whole Democratic Party, right? The Democratic Party, they get violent. They protesters get violent. You know what I'm saying? They want to fight and throw fisticuffs. And you got to get security out of Democratic town hall. These motherfuckers is violent.
You are the most soulless piece of crap I've ever seen.
That's your opinion.
Soulless. Soulless.
Sir, get up, sir.
Scott, I actually think that Democrats are in agreement with you in the sense that they probably think Chuck Schumer should,
yes,
to
exactly.
Carrie's point, take the smoke.
2 weeks ago, he was attacking
show up and take the he should show up and take the L is what I'm saying. No one's saying he can't have it, Scott.
A tense face-off at a town hall in Illinois. Democratic Congressman Sean Casten was confronted by pro-Palestinian protesters angry over Israel's attacks on Gaza. Police ultimately asked the congressman to end the event early.
You have an issue. If you have a question, we can address that in the question.
Look, he had to end his event early. Chuck Schumer couldn't have his event at all. He couldn't have his shit at all. No, Chuck Schumer. Right? Democrats are not playing. Security reasons.
Paid for by Israel. You are bought and paid for by AIPAC.
You believe that. You believe that. You believe that. It doesn't make it true.
What have you done?
Sir, we will have a question period. If you cannot behave respectfully,
this is your nation's flag.
if you cannot behave respectfully, then leave.
This is your flag.
He can do whatever he chose to, but once again, another example of him deciding to hide. I would love for him to go on the book tour so that he can answer the questions of the American people.
We are mobilizing in New York. We have people going to the Republican districts and going after.
Your ass can't go to a Democratic district. We have people going to Republican districts. I can't. Well, you probably welcome into a Republican district. You ain't got to go. Look, think about this. Chuck Schumer is a Democrat. He can go into a Republican town hall and don't need security. He can go to a Republican event and don't need security. If he go to a Democratic event, he needs security. and bodyguards and protection. Think about it. And he's a Democrat. I don't know how long he's been Democrat. He done all kind of shit against Donald Trump. Now he need protection from his own people. This nigga, when he's more safer in the Republican. That's like my grandmother being more safe with Bloods than she is with Crips. Right? That's in the same token. Like my grandmother in all blue, we're hanging with niggas in all red. And that's how she got to feel safe, because she can't feel safe with the niggas in all blue. Huh? How is that? How is you that lets you know how violent the party is when you need protection. Donald Trump don't need protection from Republicans. He need protection from Democrats and crazy ass liberals, right? That's what most Republicans, they need protection from Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all these damn anti-abortion women groups and all. It's all kind of groups gonna come after Republicans. But what group is gonna come after Chuck Schumer? Right? What group is gonna come after Kamala Harris or Nancy? It ain't no groups that come after these motherfuckers. It ain't no Proud Boys. It ain't no Nazis. Ain't nobody going after these sons of bitches. Ain't no organization going after none of the motherfucking Republicans. But the Democrats, man, they're gonna have every motherfucking in the organization in the world. Mothers for this, dads for this, white men for that, gays for this, transgenders for this, kids for that, cancer patients for that, teachers unions for that, motherfucking immigrants. Like, they're gonna have motherfuckers, everybody come out the woodwork like him. They done it. Let's beat on walls and protest and burn shit up. They got everybody. When the Republicans losing shit, ain't no motherfuckers. They tried to do that shit and make it look like a photo op. We're gonna put around the Capitol building. We're gonna put gates and all this old shit, and we're gonna have military, For what? Ain't no Republican finna try to storm no motherfucking Capitol. What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? They do that shit, right? They do it for Republicans, but they don't do it for Democrats. They don't have extra security and all that shit at none of these events. And then them motherfuckers get totally overran. Motherfuckers knocking down statues and spray painting and fucking statues and setting them on fire. Right? Oh, now where the police at? But when the Republicans have some shit, the police there before some shit happened. Oh, we don't want another January 6th. Well, they having another motherfucking summer of love. They having that shit every summer. They doing a remix. But you don't want to repeat of January 6th with these motherfuckers doing the summer of love every month. The motherfuckers, Summer of Love Part 3. Them motherfuckers, they like the scary movies. Halloween Part 3, Halloween Part 5. Right? We don't want another January 6th. Well, we don't want another motherfucking Summer of Love. That shit was horrible. That shit was way worse than 5. That summer was way worse than 5 hours. Caused way more damage. Right? But think about this. This nigga is not even safe around his own party. The Democrats are not. You say something against it. Remember when I forgot the nigga name, right? Voted against the Democrats on that energy bill, and they followed him and the girl from Arizona to the damn boat and into the bathroom, filming them and all. Oh, you gonna vote this way? You gonna vote that way? Filmed them all in the bathroom. Went to this other nigga boating and filmed his ass. I'm like, these motherfuckers right here is sick. They gonna do it. Now Chuck Schumer got to fear for his life.
Going after these Republicans who are voting for this and forcing
What?
them.
You heard that? Going after Republicans who are voting for this. Now they're going for your ass. Now they're going for your ass for voting for it.
To either change their vote or face the consequences.
Whoa, this thing what he just said in them two things, right? Right? This was the KK. I ought to use that part. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this part up here because that's something the KKK would say. Right? This didn't work. I'm lucky I paused it right there because that shit is deep. Look what he say.
and going after these Republicans who are voting for this.
Going after the Republicans are voting for this. Ain't that what the KKK used to do? Right? And then he followed it up with this.
And forcing them to either change their vote or face.
Wait, forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. What? Nigga, ain't that what the KKK would say?
Who are voting for this and forcing them to either change their vote or face the consequences. This is a long, relentless fight that we fight every day. And
Whoa! Force them. I ain't never heard the Republicans say they're going to force somebody to change their vote or face the consequences. Whoa! Whoa! This is the same niggas outside. Listen to you, Judge Whitman. Listen to you. You will feel the wrath. The same niggas out the Washington screaming, they gon' right. He said, face the consequences. Wow. Force them to change their vote or face the consequences. Yeah, that's the KKK.
I am confident that we will bring Trump's popularity, numbers, and strength down if we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
On the same week that a poll showed Democrats with a dismal favorability rating of only 29%, many are facing voters face to face at what are becoming very fiery town halls.
And it's in their rights. I mean, no politician wins 100% of the votes, but ultimately the police felt that there was a risk to public safety and continuing because there was so much disagreement, with some of the protesters. And
right, they had to shut the event down early because there was so many motherfuckers protesting, right? So many people. It's dangerous when the Democrats hold a protest.
And I defer to the police and making sure that people stay safe. So we had to end, which is unfortunate.
We're talking shouting matches, lots of booing, constituents voicing their concerns about White House policies and how Democrats are reacting or not reacting enough to them.
Security risk perhaps may be true, according to what Abby has said and what his office is saying.
Correspondent Arlette Saenz joins us now with the very latest. Arlette, you have to wonder how productive these town halls are at this point when they devolve so quickly. At the same time, though, these lawmakers need to be talking to their constituents.
That's right. And Congressman Sean Casten was on our air in the last hour and actually said he thinks that these town halls need to continue. He said that they're vital for civil discourse and disagreement. But he did acknowledge that maybe they need to work with law enforcement to make sure that these town halls are safe if there are going to be disagreements, either with the lawmakers or constituents.
Wait. Safe from who? Safe from who? Safe from who? Who do you guys keep Chuck Schumer and these other Democratic politicians safe from? Who? You talking about better protests? I do agree they need to talk, but they need to get in touch with local law enforcement to make sure these places are safe. From who?
Who have gathered there.
Who would be the security risk, though?
I don't know.
Who
All
would
I'm
be the
saying-
security
Wait a minute.
risk?
The book is about it. The book is about
Who is the risk?
Scott,
Can we just admit who the risk is?
But right now in this moment, neither party is immune from hearing this frustration from voters. You heard the pro-Palestinian protesters there confronting Congressman Sean Casten. You've also heard Democrats who have heard from constituents that they're upset that they're not doing more to push back on Trump. And on the Republican side, a lot of lawmakers who are holding town halls are hearing criticism about the DOJ cuts that Trump has been making. Here's one of those moments with Wyoming Congresswoman Harriet Hageman just last.
Oh, they have. Oh no, we know them as ops. We know everybody knew. Ain't nobody complaining about no Donald Trump DOJ cuts. We know them as ops.
Last night.
What DOJ is doing is it's the closest thing to it is the closest thing to zero-based budgeting that we've seen. Why would you be opposed to us looking on a line?
Exactly. That's not a Republican MAGA crowd. Why would you be opposed?
By line basis, whatever you.
From an immigrant from South Africa who wasn't elected.
I assume
He was an immigrant from South Africa that wasn't elected, right? Wasn't it immigrant from South Africa that didn't get elected when he was on stage with Donald Trump, when he was campaigning with Donald Trump, when he was sending all these astronauts, saving all these astronaut lives and sending spaceships and doing all these stuff for people with internet in Ukraine and certain cities and that's been through a national disaster in America, right? You talking about that same immigrant from South Africa? He's done more for this country than that bitch who let your dad could ever do, right? Elon Musk has done for this more for this country, even for things in Ukraine that everybody in that hallway or in that town hall combined can do. So this the immigrant you're talking about here? Huh? To hire thousands of Americans that was running one of the best American companies that had the most American parts, the most American car in the world. You're talking about the immigrant with the most American car, that immigrant. Okay.
Approve this message.
100%, absolutely. Democrats are in a crisis right now. They're on life support.
You always hear they're in a crisis, they're on life support. How much faith can you have in your party when the politicians don't even have party in their damn selves? We are on life support. We need help. We need somebody to lead us. We need a leader. They're looking. They don't even have a clear front runner. They're still in search.
They have a testicular fortitude problem. They are not fighting nearly as hard as they need to fight for the American people.
So that's just a sample of the voter frustration that these lawmakers are hearing. And of course, town halls have been a staple of American politics, especially in that first year into a new administration.
As was seen last week during this CR vote in the Senate. It's a problem. And for me, it's not about the parties, because the parties are going to kind of do their thing. It's about the people rising up and holding the parties accountable.
Okay, I think Chuck Schumer was the adult in the room. He did what the American people want. The American people want government. They want people to get deals done.
Watch the other black lady, right? She's going to try to use her blackness against this whiteness, this white lady, right? Oh no, lady, you're wrong, and you know this, and you know, like she's gonna try to out-educate this girl and out-black this girl and out-hood this girl at the same time. Watch this old shrug ass shit.
And the fact of the matter is, people don't want to punch. The fact of the matter is, people are actually excited. NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm and the country going in the right direction since 2004. 20 years.
I myself don't give away anything for nothing.
So President Trump is doing exactly what he campaigned on. That's why 76% of people said, according to CBS polling, agreed with his State of the Union speech, which included a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats who were watching that speech.
Carrie.
That is why.
Carrie, my namesake, Carrie.
Yes, my fellow Carrie.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling.
Talk to
The
NBC.
American, I don't.
She don't care about the polling. But if it's against Donald Trump, you care about the polling. All the stats against Donald Trump is right. But if they for Donald Trump, they're wrong. Oh no, these stats are wrong, and you know that. How do I know that? Oh, you know it. You do know it. How? Tell me how I know it. You know it because I told you know it.
I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the street.
And I think that's what happened the other day.
Are you on the streets? Are you talking
Absolutely,
to people in real life situations who have everyday jobs who are saying they're unhappy?
Are you in the streets talking to everyday people? Right? Like, is it possible for her to go on the street and talk to people? Of course I have. Are you on the street talking to everyday people? Of course I have. And I also talk to some of the people, the other people who say they like the country. I talk to them people too. I'm not saying everybody, but majority of the people I talk to say the country is in a better position.
You know very well.
Are you saying CNN polling is wrong?
No. What I'm saying is,
that Joe
don't
Biden
do me. Don't try me today, Scotty.
We
what
put
I'm
out
saying
we
to
put
you
out a
is that
CNN
you
poll.
know
Are you
by
saying
and
our polling
large.
is wrong?
No, what I'm saying to you is that you know by and large people are not happy. This
No,
is
they're
not,
very happy. They're unhappy with Democrats.
You're happy.
They're happy with Trump.
You're happy. Democrats aren't happy. We're not happy with Democrats.
Yeah, you're happy, and you're happy, and most Republicans are happy. So we have a right to be happy. Like we have no. It's not our fault that the Democrats don't have no leader. It's not our fault. It's not our fault that they have no direction. It's not our fault that the Democratic voters and the liberals want them to fight harder and they can't. That's not our fault. So why should we be unhappy about that? That don't make no sense. You're happy and you're happy, but the Democratic voters are not happy about their politicians. And what the fuck that got to do with us?
You're happy.
They're happy with Trump.
You're happy. Democrats aren't happy. We're not happy with Democrats and the way they're handling
Let me try to
the
sort this out
situation.
real quick before we have to go to break.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal.
Democrats have fighters. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, the whole squad, Greg Casar, Pramila Jayapal, and governors and mayors across the country are fighters. But we need some of the OGs in the party to elevate, uplift the younger people,
or do they
and
need
take a
to
step back.
do they need to step aside?
Or step aside.
And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party.
Because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
All of those things require me.
Right? So they got a fresh new white girl out here with a fresh new voice, somebody that's anti-AOC, right? Here's name all the people, AOC and all these other hoes, right? They're the strong fighters and shit like that. Well, which one of them gonna run for president and beat anybody from the Republican Party? Never one of them. Not a Crockett, not an AOC, not a none of them. Not a none of them, right? But they got an anti-white woman that's an anti-AOC. I guess he's supposed to be the opposite.
The party is about to be finished.
All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. Everyone you mentioned has a lot of words, but what have they actually done to change the situation with Donald Trump?
He mad. He called that whitewash, right? He called that whitewash. Look, he mad at like, what have she actually done? She can run and do all that me and voting the rich and go with dresses. And what has she actually done to stop Donald Trump besides cry on the internet and racism? And what has she actually done? Oh, girl, so I ain't got time for that shit. I can't do what AOC do. I got people to answer to. This bitch out here for the money.
Come on, son.
It's getting very messy.
That's white flag energy right there.
Names are
That's
being
white
put on the
flag
table.
energy right there.
No, I think she's right.
What do you mean you think she's right? First of all, even choosing
easy.
her to give the response to Governor Trump.
That's your party.
Governor Trump. I should call him Governor Trump.
That's
President Trump was a
choice.
problem.
You should be the chairman, by the way.
I mean,
the
this
advice
is
you gave
crazy.
a minute
Let me
ago.
let Joe finish.
Go ahead, brother.
You know, she is right in the sense that it's easy to throw grenades. You can be AOC and throw grenades all day in a safe district and not have to account for anything. There's a huge delta between the hype of AOC and the accomplishments of AOC. And frankly, if you look at that tour she was just on with Bernie Sanders, right? It was called the Fighting Oligarchy Tour, right? They essentially traveled the country and spoke to an echo chamber of people who already agree with them. How is she and Bernie Sanders, with their message, going to attract people in swing districts by the Fighting Oligarchy?
Think about this, right? Because it's only a couple of people even know about an oligarchy or fighting an oligarchy or some shit like that, right? You're not going to get no new people, you know what I'm saying, talking about, oh, we fight against the oligarchy. Most people ain't concerned or don't give a fuck about no oligarchy. They don't give a fuck if the country is ran by Hitler's nephew, right? If Hitler's nephew can make the grocery prices go down, right, the gas go down, stop these wars and all this other shit, they will vote for his ass too, right? It's not about echo chamber. We're fighting against the oligarch. People don't give a fuck, right? They just want to know if they prices, if they finna make some more money, if these taxes finna get lower. They don't give a fuck what he is, who he is, what he does, right? But you going out there and you're not getting any new voters. These are the same 40% of the country that absolutely hate Donald Trump. The same people. All you doing is getting fun, raising money because ain't no new people coming. You're not finna get no new people coming to the Democratic Party talking about you want to fight against oligarchy. Like, what the fuck is an oligarchy? We want to fight against the rich. I'm not finna be sitting up here fighting. I'm trying to get rich, bitch. I'm not finna be fighting up against no damn rich. What kind of sense would that even make?
Wonder is the American people are not very happy with the direction of the economy. They are not very happy with Democrats. There's a lot of unhappiness to go around.
Correct.
For the time being, Donald Trump's approval rating continues to go in the wrong direction.
I would have liked to see, when Chuck Schumer had leverage here, to say we need A, B, C, and D for the Democratic Party.
Sanders and AOC in the building. You guys are about to go up and speak at another one of the rallies that you've been doing. The
rallies, ain't that what the KKK used to do? Rally, they fighting against the government, right? Fighting against the man and all this other shit. That was the late KKK. That wasn't the early KKK, right? The later KKK was fighting against the government. Ain't that what AOC and Bernie Sanders doing, fighting against the government? Right? These motherfuckers are Nazis.
The fighting oligarchy.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Cesar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country.
None of them motherfuckers can't say a sentence nowadays without saying some kind of a swear word. Motherfucker, bitch, shit, motherfucking white wheel on the wheels. The country's not ready for no AOC or no Jasmine Crockett and none of these. The country is not ready for them. And your ass, you got all these ideas. That's why your ass lost. We don't believe nothing you say.
If that is the face of the Democratic Party. Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris won by half a point. Okay, I won by 6.5 points, 24,000 votes in a district that has 85,000 more Democrats than Republicans. Why?
And you're right.
Because the
But you ran against a cornball candidate. You had
Look, nigga, who did you run against? Your ass lost. You ran against a cornball candidate. Well, nigga, you was a cornball candidate. That's why your ass lost. You acting like you won some shit. You ran against a cornball candidate. Nigga, so did you. And your ass lost, right? Think about this. It's certain states for to lose. It's certain states for to lose. Certain how you say that electoral votes, right? Because people are leaving, right? California, people are leaving blue states, going to red states. So red states are finna get more electoral votes. Y'all finna lose Senate seats, dumbass. Right? They finna lose Senate seats because they losing people. They losing population. There's less people in California. They done moved to other places. The other places that are red finna get them Senate seats. Next election, stupid. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Let's go.
He was your friend. He was not my friend.
He was your friend.
You
Long
had
ago.
someone running against you who was not a strong candidate. And we still
that
have,
we agree on.
we still have consultants and big money controlling the
But you're
Democratic
missing-
Party,
you're missing-
compromising
She did
it.
outperform Kamala Harris in her
Come on
district.
now.
Trump did,
Sure.
Trump
He
did
knows
better
this.
than
But here's my point. The New York, look no further than New York, where issues like cashless bail have been a disaster, issues like sanctuary state status, congestion pricing. In districts like mine, where Democrats on paper should win big, they're losing. And so if the messenger is AOC, who, by the way, was originally from my district, she grew up in Yorktown, not the Bronx. If AOC is the face of the Democratic Party in swing districts all across this country, she will mobilize voters way more than Nancy Pelosi ever did.
Think about what all the Democrats are losing, right? They just lost the election. They just lost. They don't control the House. They don't control the Senate. Voters are leaving the party. They have no leader. They have no direction. People are leaving their states. They're losing Senate seats, right? To red districts, right? Meaning it's going to be more senators that are basically Republican than it is Democrats by at least 5. They're going to lose about 5 or 6 Senate seats, right? and them all going red. Think about the direction the Democratic Party is going right now. And they still want to try to put up a fight, not a fight about what they're going to do for the future, a fight to stop Donald Trump. And it's more people supporting Donald Trump policies than supporting them fighting against Donald Trump policies. They have no direction. This party is fucked. You have no leader. You have no direction. People are leaving the states, right? People are frustrated with the party. You have division at every level, right? You have donors, right, are scared to donate money because they don't know what happened to the last billion, right? You got celebrities hiding, right? You got people still fighting for transgender rights. You still got a problem with Donald Trump. Think about it. Donald Trump is president. You don't hear these motherfucking protesting Donald Trump. They protest the Democratic Party about Palestine. They're not at no Republican protest. I mean, town hall. Not no room with Donald Trump. They know what would happen. They know what would happen. He wouldn't have got that close to Donald Trump. He would have got about 2 words out before he even got his ass beat. Motherfucker, pop, poop, poop, Palestine free, pop, poop, 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 poop. He would have got the free pallet. He wouldn't even got the E out. As soon as he got to the end in Palestine, he would have got boo-bopped by some big country redneck with a Make America Great hat on and and a motherfucking American flag shirt, drinking with a cowboy belt and some cowboy boots and some tight jeans. Pop, poop, poop. He'd be the first one. And then there'd be another motherfucker with a blonde, wild hair, you know what I'm saying, and a t-shirt where he had a flag. He'd hit him with that flag. Pop, boop. It'd be over for that son of a bitch. You're not fit to do that at no Trump rally.
Let me just add an oligarchy. In Denver, the anti-Trump sentiment was strong.
Oh, I think it's a disaster. And he talks about he has a mandate. He never had a mandate.
But so was the frustration with Democrats.
He never had a mandate. How you know? Bitch, the country told him. He said he was going to run on, and the country held him to that. Why is that not a mandate? He keeps saying he had a mandate. He doesn't have a mandate. Shit. But they mad at Donald Trump, but they more mad at their own party. Look at the Democratic Party.
How's the Democratic Party doing challenging this?
They got to be a little tougher.
Quit being a bunch of doormats.
It feels like
we're
left
stranded when everything feels like it's crumbling.
Tour's Western swing, Sanders was joined by New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
He has handed the keys of the federal government to.
Ha! Look at that, Joe Barron. She got to read off a damn cue card, right? If you got to fight against oligarchy, why the fuck you can't say it from the heart? You got to read off a damn cue card. What a hell of a fight against oligarchy.
To Elon Musk.
You have to read, look, but you have to read Elon Musk. Look. She has to read Elon Musk. Look. This bitch has to read Elon Musk. Who we fighting against today? Oh, Elon Musk.
Was joined by New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
He has handed the keys of the federal government to Elon Musk.
There is such an irony to Democrats talking about oligarchy because, of course, for every one billionaire that backed President Trump, Kamala Harris had 2. 9 of the 10 richest counties in America are represented by Democrats.
We are looking at a nation which is now oligarchic.
65% of Americans making over $500,000 a year today are Democrats. 75% of hedge fund managers who make political donations donate to Democrats, and 95% of political donations from the top 3 management consulting firms go to Democrats.
And they don't hide it. I mean, I must give them credit for it, but, they're out there. Mr. Musk, the richest guy in the world, is running all over the place, cutting the needs of veterans, going after Social Security.
Meanwhile, President Trump absolutely crushed with Americans who make under $100,000 a year.
There are, in addition to Musk, he got 13 nominees of Trump to head major agencies who are all billionaires. So you got a government Clearly, no embarrassment of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class.
Why wouldn't he surround himself with the people who are the most successful, right? And billionaires happen to be successful because they're good businessmen. They're not billionaires for nothing, right? You complain about, think about that. They complain about him hiring young people. Oh, they're too young. They complain about him hiring rich people. Oh, they're too rich, right? They complain about him hiring white people. Oh, they're too white, right? It doesn't matter. They're too something. They're too something. She's too anti-American. She's a puppet to Vladimir Putin and Saudi Arabia and Donald Trump. How many puppets is Tulsi Gabbard? She's everybody puppet. Make her sound like a whore. She's everybody puppet. Huh? She's Donald Trump puppet. She's that nigga from India puppet, right? She's such and such puppet. She's a Putin puppet. She's everybody puppet, right? They making her sound like a hood rat. She's everybody puppet. Tulsi gets around. You hear that, Miss Chocolate and Cocoa? Tulsi gets around.
The Democrats are the party of the wealthy.
And then what is, I would hope, would be upsetting to all Americans, no matter what their politics may be. You can be conservative about this. You got a president who is moving us very rapidly into an authoritarian form of society.
And Donald,
what policy? The immigrant policy is authoritative, right? The shortening of the federal government is authoritative, right? So he said less government control, right? The regulations, cutting regulations, is that a controlling or oligarchian, right? What about lowering taxes? Right? Look, if he lowered the taxes on the rich, think about this. If Donald Trump lowered the taxes on the so-called millionaires and billionaires, right? If he lowered the costs on that, from what this lady just said, it's going to help way more Democrats than it is Republicans. Think about this. Like damn near 90% or 80% of all the rich people in the richest counties and all this are billionaires and hedge funds and Wall Street, all of them voted Democrat. So if Donald Trump gives this tax break, it's going to help all these so-called millionaires and billionaires that voted for Kamala Harris. And he want to sit up here and have us believe that they don't want this cut? Huh? You think for one instance that the people that Donald Trump finna get, the millionaires and the billionaires that's fighting for was giving money to Kamala Harris because they know they wasn't gonna do nothing for the raise taxes on the rich. They know that, right? But you think for 1 minute that these rich motherfuckers that donated to their party and they know they lost. They lost. It's over with. And Donald Trump is talking about cutting these same motherfucking millionaires and billionaires that voted for you, right, to cut their taxes and give them more money. You telling me that the motherfuckers that voted for you, the millionaires and billionaires, say fight against that? I'm going to give you some money to fight against that. He know he can't get no money to fight against that from the rich. So what he got to do? He got to get money from the poor. Give me the money so I can fight against this. Donate to this. Don't rally this. Donate this. Bernie Sanders to fight against oligarchy tour. Donate this. He got to get from the broke motherfucker because the rich people who supposedly going to get the tax break, if we're going on his concept, the ones that voted for you, they're going to get the money. Why are they going to vote or rally behind this? Oh, yeah, stop Donald Trump from lowering my taxes. Stop Donald Trump from giving me a business cut. A business incentive. Stop Donald Trump from doing that. I don't think one motherfucking millionaire, billionaire in the world is saying that. I don't give a fuck how liberal he is. Because if he wanted to cut it that damn bad, he can cut it his damn self. He can just give it away. But I don't know one billionaire say, stop that Donald Trump plan on cutting my motherfucking taxes. Bernie Sanders and AOC, stop it. Remember she had the motherfucking dress on talking about the party with the rich? Bitch, that wasn't a room of Republicans. That was a room of Democrats you wore that dress in. Bitch, it was a room full of liberals. Stop the rich and all this old shit. Bitch, come on. You know you get money from the rich to stop the Republicans, right? But you get money from the poor to try to stop Donald Trump. You getting money from both ways. Both ways. But they got to get it from the poor because they know they can't get it from rich. There ain't no way in the hell the rich gonna go for this.
Donald Trump is representing the working class because he simply lifted the pro-worker elements of the Democrats' agenda when they abandoned the working class to cater to their rich base. This is all performance art. And what's so upsetting about it is they are being paid by the American people to serve them, and they're doing.
She said it better than me, huh? This is the act. They getting paid by the American people, you know what I'm saying, to do this shit. They supposed to be getting paid by the American people, you know what I'm saying, to serve them. This is not serving them. You fighting against oligarchy, and you are the party of the rich
base. This is all performance art. And what's so upsetting about it is they are being paid by the American people to serve them, and they're doing nothing of the kind.
What in God's name is going on with Gavin Newsom?
Right? Now, Gavin Newsom even got the heat, right? Gavin Newsom just got the smoke, right? He just got the smoke because remember, they said Gavin Newsom, right? He's getting kicked out the car now because he no longer believes in the transgender right. They're saying he's talking to too many conservatives and shit like that. So Gavin Newsom finna get kicked out the car too. I don't know if it's done on purpose. So he can say, look, man, I got kicked out. I'm a moderate. I'm in the middle. I'm this way, that way. I don't know if this is a plan. But the news and the fake news, they turned on Gavin Newsom too, right? And this is part of the Nazi mentality, right? They would turn on you and they would drag you through the mud, right? Now they finna expose Gavin Newsom for what he is, a fraud.
The country is trying to figure out how he went from progressive hero and governor of the most liberal state in the country to interviewing and spending time with MAGA favorites like Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk on his new podcast. He's really completely changed his tune on some of the most hot button issues for Democrats. Let's talk about the word Latinx. Just 2 weeks ago, here's what he said about it.
The Latinx stuff that, by the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
but where did that even
no
go?
more?
With Charlie Kirk, right? You know, Gavin Newsom, look, he's sitting up there with his legs crossed. That's not a good look with Charlie Kirk either, right? Two niggas sitting up there with their legs crossed. That's not a good look. I don't have to tell Charlie Kirk about that. Charlie, we don't sit up there with our legs crossed like Gavin Newsom. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Charlie. Don't let that nigga rub off on you with the hand movements and shit like that. They both doing hand movements like they playing hot hands right now. Look at them. Like they finna play hot hands or some shit right now. Come on. Come on. We can't be like that, man. We can't show them that. Charlie, don't be a Gavin Newsom. Talk about Latinx. Who uses the word? Nobody in my office uses Latinx. What the hell you sitting with your legs crossed?
Ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
but where did that even
no
go?
more Latinx,
like,
everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
That's not true. And this shows, again, the American people do not trust Elon Musk.
But they trust Gavin Newsom. You got people don't trust Elon Musk, but they want to trust Gavin Newsom. Huh? Come on, Gavin Newsom is a straight liar. I never used the word Latinx.
Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him.
Wait. He's a thief. He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him. That's why the Democrats are paying for Elon Musk stock to go down. They run around terrorizing people with Teslas and shit, right? Them motherfuckers became violent, just like the Nazis.
I really don't recognize my party. I don't recognize its principles.
But think about this. It's Democrats saying they ain't got no leaders. right? You got other Democrats saying they ain't got no principles, no morals, right? The Democratic Party is at an all-time low right now, right? Their approval rating is at the lowest it's been in over 60-something fucking years, or probably ever, right? The Democrat, and they still trying to fight. They still trying to put up a fight, like what? Your approval rate is steady dropping. People are saying that you ain't got no fighter. People saying you ain't got no direction. People saying you ain't got no leader. People leaving the party in droves. People leaving the states and the country and the cities in droves, right? All because of the Democratic Party, right? Just thinking what people are like, I don't even know what this party stands for no more.
I surely don't see any leadership. I don't want to give full credit to President Trump for breaking the Democratic Party, but
who else done it? Who else you gonna give the credit to? They tried to impeach him, shoot him, send him to jail, and indict him. You know what I'm saying? They tried to who else broke the Democratic Party? Donald Trump. Where Letitia James at now? Where the nigga, the other nigga, Fatback from New York? Where his ass at? Where all the motherfucking prosecutors at? Right? We just saw old girl at the airport. What's the bitch? The bitch from Atlanta. We saw her at the airport with Nathan. We saw her at the airport with Nathan at the airport at LAX. You know what I'm saying? Probably finna go to LA and do something freaky. This is my friend, bitch. You still taking vacations? Who paying for this one? You paying for it with the cash out your penny bank again that you didn't report? You're gonna be drinking some Absolute. What that bitch say? I drink Absolute or some shit like that. I said, this bitch right here. This bitch right here. All right, we just saw that bitch, Fannie Lewis. We just saw that bitch at the airplane with Nathan. That bitch ain't got enough of that dick. Fannie like that dick. She like, all the prosecuting in the world ain't gonna keep me away from this dick. Nathan must be long and strong. Nathan, if she risks her whole damn freedom, right, and her whole livelihood and career for that dick, that got to be some good dick right there. Like Nate, I gotta give it to Nate right there. Nate is putting it down, right? If you put it down and she like, you know what, fuck this career. I'm still gonna fly across the country with this nigga. And you know people know who you are. You and Nate. You know TMZ is out there. You know it's Trump supporters out there like, I don't believe this shit. Let me film this shit right here. Here she go with Nate. Nate the Great. Let me send this shit to TMZ or the fucking Truth Social. Huh? She know that dick gotta be good. Nate is knocking the bottom out of that thing. Oh, Nate knocking the bottom out of that thing.
I don't want to give full credit to President Trump for breaking the Democratic Party, but it surely is in disarray and, most importantly, completely rudderless. And what I saw my governor and friend, Tim Walz, say today was appalling.
Felt so intentional, felt exactly what he was there to do.
And
what about the motherfuckers hopping out, trying to threaten Tesla dealers and shit like that, hopping out of cars, talking about, sell your car, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. Like, wait a minute. So when they sell their car, then you're gonna threaten the person they bought the car, they sold the car to. They're gonna sell their car now. The other person gonna get threatened. Like, sell your car. Like, damn, I just bought it yesterday. I got a good deal on it. We'll sell it again. like, damn, man, this damn Tesla had 5 owners in 3 weeks. Sell your car. I wish a motherfucker would hop out on me talking about sell. I will hop out and put my foot dead in there. You see, you had to hop out on a woman. Sell the car. It's plenty of niggas you could have hopped out on. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of other motherfuckers who drive Tesla you could have hopped out. Like, sell your car, homie. What? You could have hopped out on somebody black. I wish a nigga would hop out. Sell your car. Okay.
I don't want it to mean any individual directly, but I'm just shocked that someone who should know better read the room so poorly.
If you read the news, it feels like, Armageddon. So it's like, I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. And like, what's going on? Some people, it's like, listen, I understand if you don't want to buy our product, but you don't have to burn it down. That's a bit unreasonable, Like, like, this is psycho. Stop being.
I think this is a shot at trying to do stand-up comedy. Me personally, he trying to do a little stand-up.
Psycho.
If you torch a Tesla, it could be your one-way ticket to El Salvador. The president saying, quote, I look forward to watching the sick terrorist thugs get 20-year jail sentences for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla.
Look out, sell your car. The motherfuckers having protests out there, sell your car. They threaten the motherfuckers to sell your car. Then you buy it, then they're going to threaten your ass because you bought the car. Like, what do you want me to do? If I sell it, then you're going to threaten the motherfucker I bought it to. It's going to be an ongoing circle. Like, if I sell it, what is that going to prove? Huh? I just sold it to somebody else, and they're going to be driving it. Right? You want me to junk it? What do you want me to do? If I sell it, then what? You want me to sell it and go buy something else I don't like? Something else I can't afford? You want me to make another payment? You want me to change my whole life because you don't get along with a certain person, so you want me to change my life, right? Because you have a political difference with somebody. You want me to rearrange my life and cater to your needs and your wants and stuff like that. So now you're threatening me, basically, right? For my political belief, or not even my political belief, for a product I bought. That's like if a motherfucker say, well, Coca-Cola is racist, and I'm walking down the street and a motherfucker whoop my ass because I'm drinking a Coca-Cola. Like, wait a minute, I can't drink a Coca-Cola now? I've been drinking Cokes my whole life. Now, so we found out the owner of Coca-Cola is racist, and you want to jump me for drinking a Coke? Same thing. It's a product. The product is not racist. The product hires is white people, black people, Mexicans, Asians, immigrants, you name it. They buy Teslas, make Teslas, get paid off of Teslas. They ain't got Tesla stocks. It's colorblind. But you want to go after the product because you can't go after the man. Huh? We're going to go after the product. Right? Going after Budweiser was something different. Because it's about respect. Right? This is something that's totally different. This is about power. And forcing somebody to do something that you wanted to do.
Perhaps they could serve them in the prisons of El Salvador, which have become so recently famous for such lovely conditions.
I liked him for a long time.
Yeah.
But this is nonsense. And by the way, and just as you said earlier, what you said about cheering the tanking of Tesla stock, you know, not only does that hurt a lot of Minnesotans who have their money in pension funds, it hurts Tesla employees.
These people are going to be caught, and they're going to be caught, and they're going to be prosecuted. There's going to be no leniency, and there'll be no pardons. I can tell you that right now.
No pardons.
I don't want other people anybody seeing potential war with China. I certainly wouldn't want, Elon has businesses in China, and he would be susceptible perhaps to that. But it was such a fake story.
There was even a website now taken down sharing the personal information of Tesla owners to pressure them to sell their vehicles.
Think about that. They're giving the addresses of Tesla owners, right? Ain't that like the blacklist? I need to keep that part too, right? But ain't that like the blacklist? When you give the black card to somebody and on the back of the card they have the name and the address of the people that you're supposed to go after that are black politicians or black Republicans or white Republicans that you're supposed to go after because they had voting rights and stuff like that and they can help black people out. Ain't that the same thing? You're giving addresses out.
Sharing the personal
sharing the personal information of not of the people, of business owner, of this regular everyday people. No matter their political belief, no matter if they know about this, if they follow the news and know about this damn Elon Musk shit or not. Some people probably even know about Elon Musk. But you're giving, they can have kids, they can have whatever. It could be a single mother or an older lady, but you're going to threaten them to sell their car. You're going to go to their house and threaten them? Why else would you give the address out? Just to have the address? No, you're going to send something to their house. You're going to go to their house. You're going to do something to them That's what the list is for. It's not to go and ask them politely. You're going to demand they sell the car. You're going to threaten them. You're going to intimidate them. You're going to just give out the address of Tesla owners. What? How can you do that?
But it was such a fake story.
There was even a website now taken down sharing the personal information of Tesla owners to pressure them to sell their vehicles.
When I looked at those,
to pressure them to sell their vehicles. Huh? You're not going to pressure nicely. Right? You're not going to pressure nicely. Hey, can you please sell your Tesla? That's not pressuring somebody. The intended purpose was intimidation, like the KKK.
Showrooms burning, and those cars, not one or two, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. That's an organized event. You know, take a look at their signs. Take a look. They're all made by the same sign company. A nice, expensive job. Now, these are the people that finance it.
This is one of the world's foremost innovative companies based in the United States of America. No elected official should ever demean an American company like that. It's nonsensical. And then to call them a South African Nepo baby.
If it was to align with what we thought, that it's easy to just, turn over a $60,000 car and find something new that works. That's not a decision that everybody can make overnight.
You just can't turn over a $60,000 car, you know what I'm saying? And then say, well, I want something different. I want to at least something else or something. You can't just do that. What you gonna trade the $60,000 car in for something $30,000, $20,000? Huh? What else you gonna trade your car in for? For the value you got that car for and for what it does for the money. What other car are you gonna trade that for? Huh? What do you want them to buy? What do you prefer they buy with the money? What do you prefer they downsize to or upgrade to? I was like, look, man, I'll trade this motherfucking Tesla in as soon as you buy me another motherfucking car. Buy me another car worth more than this one, then I'll trade it in. I'll sell it as much as you want to. But right now, for the gas it give me, or I got this self-driving, or I got this gas saver, I got whatever case may be, the bulletproof, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, I got it for this purpose. You give me the car that does what this car does at the price this does, right? And you sell this car for me, find me a buyer so I can buy the other car, trade this motherfucker in, and don't have to pay nothing, then I trade it in. Other than that, like old girl said, she probably a mother or something like that. I don't just have the money to just trade no $60,000 car in like that. I don't have the options.
Night, and I think that puts a lot of us in a hard position.
He's an American citizen for 20 years. He's built some of the most extraordinary companies in the world. And call him what you will. You can disagree with his initiative, Doja. But my goodness, for my party to be, should be condemning it, should not be celebrating it. I'm really appalled right now.
California is projected to lose 3 seats, New York 2. Also going to lose a seat, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, Illinois, all.
Well, ain't that about 10 seats? Illinois, California, New York, ain't them about 10 seats? Is all going basically red. So all that filibuster and all that 60 vote shit is kind of looking good right now, right? We're already basically at about 54. We get 10 more, that's 64. Huh? Think about this. Think about what the Democrats are losing.
Really appalled right now.
What the Republican Party is gaining. You're going to lose Senate seats to who? Republicans. But people voted with their ballot and their feet. Huh? So when you lose all these Senate seats, what you're projected to lose, guess what? You're gonna be out of power for a long ass time, right? We don't need no filibuster and all that. It's gonna be a straight up vote. We're gonna have 60 votes, 61 votes, 63 votes. Because you finna lose all these seats with your policies. It's not our fault.
California is projected to lose 3 seats, New York 2. Also going to lose a seat, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, Illinois, all blue states. Who's getting these? Texas, Florida, Idaho, and Utah. I mean, this looks like game over, you know.
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person. It was him.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness.
Right. This is why you can't trust a Democrat. Oh, I never used Latinx. Nobody used Latinx, right? And this is why they have no clear leader, because the leader that they can get behind, they got all kind of evidence that he's a fucking liar. Now CNN is exposing them because of the gay shit, him kicking conservatives and Steve Bannon and Kurt, you know what I'm saying, cross some legs with Kurt and all this sort of stuff, right? Now, CNN is trying to expose him before he even get to that start. They're trying to cancel him out. Oh, you don't want to go with our policies? We're going to go ahead and cancel you out and say you're a liar before you even get on a national stage.
Person. It was him.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx.
He also used it a lot on social media. Look at a few of these, right?
Latinx, right? I never used Latinx. Let's get rid of it. Latinx. Look, now CNN exposes us to be a liar. Don't vote for this son of a bitch. He done switched on us. He's a liar. Huh? They never talked about none of his lies about COVID and the mask and none of that shit, right? Remember he was at the Rams game and they never brought up none of that shit. None of it. Soon as he get on here and talk about transgenders shouldn't be in women's sports, right? Oh shit. This nigga's a liar. Right? They didn't bring up none of his impeachments, none of the stuff he done. Oh, they finna start bringing that stuff up with the stuff he done with his head person that was his campaign manager wife. They're gonna bring that shit up. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring that up, right? They're gonna bring up all those little scandals. All that is sure to come, right? But all the shit, all the scandals that this nigga done, now all of a sudden, right? He's a liar. Shouldn't he went against the transgender rights?
Here, that is a lot of use of Latinx by him for somebody who said that nobody in his office has ever used that phrase.
So he's also rewriting history a bit on his stance on transgender issues, which he had a point of view on his podcast again just 2 weeks ago. Here's where he is now.
Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It turns out in 2014, years before I was governor, there was a law established that established the legal principles that allow trans athletes in women's sports.
In that statement, he's kind of making it sound like he wasn't involved in this at all. He's like, oh, it was in 2014, years before I was governor. Like, you mean when you were the lieutenant governor? And one of the videos that we found was actually him praising not just the governor at the time, Jerry Brown, but the California state legislature for putting that in place at the time. Take a listen.
Look, they're exposing him now. You went against the transgender rights? Huh? Now they finna expose. They said all that other stuff, but they really mad at him for the transgender rights, right? They all that other shit was add-on, right? Oh, he was talking about Latinx and all this stuff, but now, oh, you want to go against the transgenders? You want to go against what we fight for, right? Now you're going against transgender. Now your ass is out the car.
Into this.
Thank you for what you did on civil rights for students in our schools, transgender rights in this state.
While the left might be confused about what Gavin Newsom is doing, to those of us with brains, it isn't so hard to figure out. Gavin Newsom wants to win the presidency in 2028, so it's time for a rebrand.
Why does it take so many months or days to count the ballots in California?
Legit.
A month.
Legit.
India, 1 day to count 640 million votes. Germany, 8 hours to count 50 million votes.
Yep.
Argentina, 6 hours to count 27 million votes. California, 4 weeks to count 16 million votes.
It's ridiculous.
Why?
It's ridiculous.
At least give credit to Gavin for realizing the left has surrounded themselves with political poison as he attempts to distance himself from all of it as quickly as possible.
That nigga like the Democratic Party is poison, right? Them motherfuckers is losing votes, ballots, citizens, right? They is poison. I gotta separate myself from as far as these motherfuckers as I can. So all the shit I said in the past, I gotta say I evolved on, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm taking a different stance on. We knew he was a lying motherfucker when he was debating against DeSantis. We like, this motherfucker lies so good, right? And he avoid answers and all that so good. You know he lying, but he just do it so fucking good. Like with a straight face and with words, and you're like, this motherfucker is good, right? Then somebody asked him a serious question, then it turned the answer into a question. Well, I'm going to ask you this. Like, wait a minute, I'm the motherfucking narrator here. I'm the motherfucking moderator, right? Yeah, hey, Gavin Newsom, let me ask you this question right here. You know what I'm saying? Says. Well, hold on. Tom, let me ask you this. Hold on, Sean, let me ask you this. Like, wait a minute. I'm the moderator. What do you mean, let me ask you this? I'm asking you about climate change. What the hell you asking me a question of folks? Now I done turned into the motherfucking debater. Well, actually, my opinion. Wait a minute, Gavin, that was cool. You almost got me right there. You want my motherfucking opinion? We supposed to be getting your opinion. No, it's not about that. He talks so slick, he end up turning your ass and getting your opinion. And then he say, well, that's what I mean right there. You know what I'm saying? That is exactly what I mean right there. What do you mean? What you said? What did I just say? Exactly what you just said. Let's get on to the next question. Why look backward? Let's get on to the next question. Let's look forward. Let's not look backwards. Let's look forward. And let's get on to the next question. That nigga is good. You be confused like, damn. He didn't even answer the question. I ended up answering the question. How you gonna answer a question with a question? What about the border? What about the border? And you allowing all these illegal immigrants in and all this, and you got the #1 illegal immigrant population. You got a sanctuary city and all this other shit. What about this, Gavin Newsom? Well, let me ask you this: should we just allow citizens? You know what I'm saying? No protection and no. I'm not government. I'm compassionate. I care about families. You know what I'm saying? And if you're, wait a minute, that's not even a topic. What are you talking about? We asked you, what are you gonna do about, you know, well, the family come over here, they need health care. California, we don't turn down nobody. We asked you about the illegal immigration, how the motherfuckers is flooding the healthcare system. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you work in California, we think you deserve a proper. I'm like, this motherfucker is not answering nothing. Everything is beating around the bush. What about transgender rights in your city, right? Well, in California, we believe that, you know, what about the little kids getting taken from their parents, you know what I'm saying, because they think they want to be a man and they're a girl, and their parents say they can't have a dick for Christmas and stuff like that. What do you say to them parents? Now, we have to understand this. Now, when a child is at a certain age, you know what I'm saying, he or she, you know what I'm saying, they have a certain right, and there should be a fundamental right. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We talking about parental rights. See what happens there. You know what I'm saying? Societies judge these kids, and society wants to tell these kids what they cannot and cannot do. In California, we say, yes, you can. You know what I'm saying? We have deprived no one of their rights. We are free, and we'll welcome a city. We welcome all those that come. Like, what the fuck is you talking? This nigga is slick. Slick.
So when AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and other nutcases get into the race, he can present himself as the moderate candidate who can...
Look. Hey, how you gonna look? Think about this. How you gonna on a Democratic debate stage, 2007, the Democratic national debate with Gavin Newsom, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, you know what I'm saying? What's that nigga name? Bootleg Obama, right? You're gonna have probably Liz Cheney, there's some shit on there, right? And Gavin Newsom's gonna be like, look, man, I know I'm a lying motherfucker. And y'all done caught me in a lot of lies. I done fucked my campaign manager girl. I done done all kind of gay rights stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I switched up on it. I admit that I'm a lying motherfucker. But these motherfuckers is crazy. Now, if I get my shit straight, I can do a little better. Now, and I change. That's so I can evolve. I can, you know what I'm saying? I can do this. I can be in the middle. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm a changed man. I know I'm a lying motherfucker, right? And I can get over that, right? And I can, you know, I've been working on that, you know, and I can change. You know, it's not addiction. I can blame it on politics or whatever. But it's like it was an addiction to lying because I've done it so good. But now I want to tell the truth so good. Now these motherfuckers over here is crazy. It ain't no recovering for these motherfuckers, right? Now you're gonna hear some shit come out of their mouth tonight that you're not gonna understand what the fuck they talking about, right? Now you're gonna understand everything I'm talking about, right? Because I'm gonna start telling the truth. Because I used to be a lying motherfucker, right? Now I'm gonna be a truthful motherfucker. Now these motherfuckers is crazy. Ain't no way in hell they're gonna become sane tonight. Just look at my words and look at their words. And you trust, and you tell us who you trust. The liar or the motherfucking crazies. Now that's the truth. I'm like, you know what, Gavin? I might have to go ahead. They would be like, you know what, Gavin, you right about that. I used to be a lying motherfucker. I lied to my wife. I lied on my job. You know what I'm saying? I lied about to my probation officer. So I can handle a liar, but I ain't never been crazy. We all can look. Once upon a time, we all can admit to lying. We all can admit to lying. I lied about this. I was lying in this situation. I lied to try to get out of this, right? But how many of us play crazy to get out of the fucking situation? Ain't never motherfucker on here played crazy, played insane to get out of a situation. I'm just gonna play insane. No, I don't know how to play insane to get out of the situation. I done lied to get out of the situation, but I don't know how to do no insane shit to get out of no situation, right? Hey, you just got caught with all this money in donations, right? That wasn't reported. Well, it was for the piggy bank. I don't see what my daddy told me, you know what I'm saying, and I got cash money from different things, and I put the money in the piggy bank. I didn't know I had to report it. Bitch, you are a federal employee and a lawyer, and you report and you prosecute niggas like this. What do you mean? You prosecute a nigga for the same shit your ass doing. That is outrageous. That is racism, bitch. That is insane. Bitch, that is insane. Right? Now, Gavin Newsom, he just get in here and lie. Gavin Newsom, we caught you at the motherfucking dinner and you didn't have on no mask. You know what? I should have got up and left. I didn't think any better. I knew better. You a motherfucking lie. You wasn't going to get up and leave. I was there with a month of family and friends. You know what I'm saying? And Gavin Newsom, your kid got caught without COVID masks in a private school. You know what? I didn't think about that. And I apologize. It will never happen again. Gavin Newsom, you just got caught fucking your campaign manager wife. You know what happened was? It was a mistake. And it would never happen again. I love my wife. I love my kids. You a lying motherfucking Gavin. You's a lying motherfucker, man. But I fuck with you, Gavin. I fucks with you, Gavin. Because you lie so good. Look at him. This motherfucker is, look at it. Look at his hair. His hair perfect.
Himself from all of it as quickly as possible. So when AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and other nutcases get into the race, he can present himself as the moderate candidate who can return the country back to the old guard. By mingling with right-wing characters, he's presenting that he's open-minded, willing to talk to the other side and compromise.
Why he always got his motherfucking legs crossed, though? Why he always got his legs crossed?
He's presenting that he's open-minded.
Look, why the fuck he always got his legs crossed? I'm not finna vote for no nigga with his legs crossed like that and his hands on his mouth. I'm just, look. Ain't no way. I ain't never, I would have never, if Donald Trump ever in life sit like this right here, right? That's when I started believing the conspiracy theory that Donald Trump have been cloned. I like, you know what? That is a clone of Donald Trump. Ain't no way Donald Trump gonna sit with his legs crossed and his arms crossed. You can't cross more shit than that. Nigga, what you gonna do next? Cross your fingers? Like what? Like you can't cross nothing more than that. This nigga sitting up here with his hands. That is submissive. I don't know women who is that submissive when they with their legs crossed and their arms crossed like that. Like that is like who does that? Like you don't know you on camera. You don't know you don't see like, oh, I gotta get that out the act. I look a little gay right there. If I didn't know, I mean I do know who you is. What up, Joe Barron, Todd Baker, David Tomlin? If I didn't know no better, I would think Gavin Newsom was gay. He fought for all the gay rights. He the first motherfucker that married somebody in California, right? He made a town hall full of motherfuckers that was gay. As soon as this shit passed through, he married them that was gay. He went to every damn gay thing in Long Beach, in San Francisco when he was lieutenant governor. Right? He praised the transgender. He praised the guy. I mean, nigga, you started this gay shit way before Barack Obama. Right? So when you sitting like that, makes me think something.
Willing to talk to the other side and compromise.
And the reason why people are voting with their feet is a lot of what your book is about.
Yeah.
Taxes and regulation. I certainly been screaming about it forever. I did 3 years with a sign here that said, how long is it going to take me to get my solar hooked up? 3 years. Talking about it on television in this state. You couldn't do it. This state has almost 400,000 regulations. I just put in a new roof because the fire, I thought, oh, let's get a roof that's not going to burn up. 2 inspections. Why are you inspecting my roof? It's my fucking roof. If it falls on me, that's my problem. And we're taxed more than any other state. People are leaving these kind of...
Didn't Donald Trump say, well, all the regulations, he told the mayor, well, all the regulations are going to take 2 years to build it, right? He just had to get 2 permits, right? Or pass 2 fucking whatever to get his roof built. Think about it. We had the most regulations in the country.
States for places where they're not, they feel the heavy breath of government on them. It's not that hard for Democrats to understand this, but they seem to be incapable of doing anything about it.
So we poll this. They're leaving on cost of living. That's all part of it. They're leaving because they can't afford homes. And it's a huge, not just political problem, those numbers you just gave. After 2030, if that holds, a Democrat could win every state Kamala Harris won, win Michigan, win Pennsylvania, and I'm just blanking on the third blue wall state, win Michigan, win Pennsylvania, and win Wisconsin, and lose the presidential election, right? The blue wall would no longer be enough for them to win.
Woo! The blue wall would never be enough for them to win. Huh? If they lose that shit, it's over for the Democratic Party. Over!
And you have to take that.
You mean they could win those 3 states and still
lose the presidential. That's how bad it is, right?
Wow.
And that's because they are driving people out, working class families out of the states they govern because the cost of living is too high. And the cost of living is too high in part for regulatory reasons, in part for taxes. But the big problem is they just don't have enough of the things people need. Not enough homes, not enough energy, not a government capable of delivering. And they've been treating that as not a real problem. You were talking about your solar sign. California high-speed rail, it's a huge disaster, but nobody's ever done anything about it. If you tried to build it again, it would go the exact same way.
High-speed rail?
Yeah, California's high-speed rail.
I think we first passed it in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just voted about something about it again. It's projected. Just give up. Just to...
Too many regulations, right? They've been talking about a high-speed train rail from California, I think Vegas and San Francisco and all that. They were talking about a high-speed train to compete with China train. I'm like excited about that. When I heard about that shit in 2008, they got the funding, they passed the bill, they have to map out and all kind of shit, right? That was in 2008. It's almost 20 years later, and they're still working on regulations to get it built. 17 years later. They haven't laid down one piece of track. Now they're still talking about regulations. Oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to make sure this, clean this, that. Well, just give up. If Donald Trump was president or a governor, it would have been got built in 2010.
And it's 8. I think they just voted about something about it again. It's projected. Just give up. Just to build, I think, from Bakersfield to Merced. Who the hell wants to go from Bakersfield to Merced? And they couldn't do that.
I went out and toured this for the day.
Dishonest. MSNBC is, I think, probably worse.
Oh, my bad. The Democratic Party is now in trouble. The only thing the Democratic Party doing right now is fighting. Right? That's all they're doing is fighting. The only thing they can do is fight. They have no politics. They have no more. They have no leaders. And it's embarrassing. Right? This is why Donald Trump polls is going up, because everybody who voted for Donald Trump, right, is happy with the job he's doing, right? And it's some people who didn't vote for Donald Trump or said, damn, he's actually doing what the fuck he's saying he's doing, so I approve it because it's helping me out, right? I'm going to approve of this tax cut. I'm going to approve of this immigrant shit. It's lots of millionaires and billionaires, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, is loving this move to America, and we're going to cut your tax. We're going to give you a big-ass tax break, right? Why is it that the people who a tax break won't help, right? Why is they crying? The Democrats crying for them. What good is you give a motherfucker a tax break? He working as a mail worker, right? Or he working in the Social Security office, right? Or he working in the at McDonald's, or he got a whatever job he got, because we talking about jobs, because people with businesses and stuff like that, they don't get a paycheck, right? If you got to get them a tax cut, it got to be a business tax cut or something like that. You can't get them a paycheck tax cut, right? So whoever getting a paycheck, their money is limited. Teachers and police officers, and you know what I'm saying, and people who work in hospitals and all that, the money is limited. They don't know how much money they get every week in case they, or unless they get overtime or something like that. Even then, they still know exactly how much money they get, right? So if you get them a tax break of, say, $300 a month, right, and that helps them, what good is that going to do for the economy, right? They can spend more, right? But if there's nothing to spend it on, what good is the money? Because you need people that make products, that, right, for the people who want to spend money. So if you give the people who make the products a pay cut, right, that means they can make more product and hire more people, right, to buy more products, right? I mean, it's common sense, right? Because you want businesses to have lower taxes and lower this, because they actually can lower their prices, because if they saving on the back end and don't have to pay these high ass taxes, maybe they can go down on the prices. Maybe they can go down, maybe they can hire more workers. Maybe they can invest in more stores, right? Because you're giving them incentive to do things for us business wise. So you want to give these people the tax break, because these people have the investments. They're going to invest into the country. They're not going to invest into a business. They're going to invest into the country, and investing in the country is giving people jobs, paying taxes, right? You know, hiring people, giving people opportunities. That's investing in America, not saving a motherfucker $300 who work at McDonald's so he can spend on an extra pair of Nikes or Jordan, you know what I'm saying, or a cell phone each month. right? All they're gonna do is give it to the motherfucker who made the investment, who got the who you said don't deserve the tax cut. Now they shit gonna be higher because guess what? Now they have to pay more taxes, because they have to make a profit. See, people don't understand. You have to make a profit, and if your taxes are high, that means you have to make your product at a higher a price. Right? That means you gotta hire less employees, probably, to make the product. Right? And less supply of the product makes the demand higher, which increases the prices. Right? But if you flood the market, right? If you flood the market with American parts and American businesses and stuff like that, it's going to be some creative minds out there saying, well, they making such and such in America for this amount, right? Maybe I can come up with a creation, right, and come up with a business in America, right, that's going to help me create a business, right, and create a cheaper product and sell it on the same market for a cheaper price so I can compete with the bigger name or I can compete with the other prices. This is what America does. This is how we get creativity and stuff like that. That's the same thing China do. They find out how we make stuff like that and make it at their own shit and sell it to us at a cheaper price, our own products. How the fuck you buy the Ford products, made in America, but you got to buy China parts? Because they're cheaper. And they flood a lot of American businesses out of business because they're cheaper, and you buy cheaper and you buy less quality, right? Instead of better quality that's made in America, it's probably going to be a higher price because of better quality. Now, guess what? You're driving these American businesses out, right? Because America is going cheaper, right? Because China they don't have to pay, and they don't have all these regulations and stuff on their workers and stuff like that, no pay, so they can hire more workers at lower pay and shit like that, and they can have the economy working at a lower price, as far as food and stuff like that, because they have a lot of supply. Because they got a lot of people, and they got a high-ass demand. Got to understand supply and fucking demand. Right? And people don't understand that. You got to understand profit. If American companies, just think about this. If America made Nike over here, right, and Nike has built a factory in the middle of Chicago, right, and they know it's going to be let's say 2,000 workers in that building right there, right? 2,000 workers. This is how shit works. It's going to be 2,000 workers. This is why it's important when they say the numbers, right? It's going to be 2,000 workers in that Nike town, right? 2,000 workers in that Nike store or that Walmart or whatever business they build right there in the dab. A big business, though, not no small shit, right? A big business a factory where they producing shit. And it's going to be at least 2,000 motherfuckers in there working at a high pace because now it's cheaper in the United States. Now they can hire more people, right, to make more product and make the Nikes and such cheaper, right? Made in America, right? But now, since it's a business, as a Nike business or a Walmart business, it's such a factory over there, and they got 2,000 workers in that building. If I'm smart, what I'm going to do? I'm finna build me a McDonald's right here, right? And when motherfuckers take their lunch break, right, I'm going to be right here, right? And I'm going to be right here. And when they take their lunch break, I'm finna buy McDonald's so on their lunch break, they can come to this motherfucking McDonald's. Somebody else gonna build them a Burger King. Somebody else gonna bring them an ice cream thing. Somebody else gonna bring them a sandwich place. Somebody else gonna bring them build them a vegan thing, right? Somebody else gonna have them a souvenir store, right? It's gonna be all kind of businesses and jobs created off of that Nike factory because they know people are going to be coming and going, and the people got money and they're going to be buying, they're going to be taking breaks. There's going to be a bar there, there's going to be, there's going to be a nightclub there. It's going to be all kind of shit surrounding that Nike factory was 2,000 jobs. Now that 2,000 jobs in that Nike factory created more businesses, more opportunities, and now it done created 5,000 more jobs in that same little community. Right? In that same little community. Because that's how it is out here. You see they have a Flagstaff store, right? You'll always see it. You'll see a Walmart, a big ass Walmart. But in the same parking lot, you probably see a little grocery store, the shoe store, a little women's clothing store, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna buy the property because they're gonna try to sell what Walmart ain't got. There's gonna be a Foot Locker there. Because you might go to Walmart, oh, there's a Foot Locker right there. Let me go to this Foot. They make it, they call it the Flagstaff store. But you take that Walmart out of there, all them other stores lose businesses because it's no business there attracting businesses so that you can fall off and say, oh, they're going to Nike store. Oh, let's go get something to eat at the taco store. Oh, let's go get some the kids something to play with at this toy store right here. It's going to be all these other little stores because Walmart is there, right? It's going to be all these little stores because Nike Town is there. Right, it's gonna be our little store because Silicon Valley built a tech company that's building robots, or Ford Motors done moved there, or such and such General Mills washing machines done moved here and shit. So all these jobs gonna be created because business create off of flagship businesses. So the more big businesses you get over here, the more small businesses you're going to get, you know what I'm saying? Because they're going to surround it, right? Because they're going to get the workers and they're going to get the business. Right? You're going to do that. So it's very important. It's very important that you bring businesses back to over here, right? Because guess what? Them people got to eat, right? And the people who got them restaurants now, them people are gonna be serving food. So the people that works into the Nike store is gonna buy hamburgers from the people on the street, right? And that's how that works. That's how the money stay in the community. That's how the money works and stuff like that. But if you don't have that in the community, there's no flagship stores. There's no reason to bring a store up in there like a Foot Locker and just drop it right there, or a Toys R Us and drop it in the middle of the hood. No, it got to be surrounded by stuff. A big ass flagship store. You know? So if you don't have, like I said, you don't have them. You have them in a lot of different, you have them in a lot of different parts of LA. They got grocery stores and they got all kind of stuff inside of a parking lot. You go to the grocery store, they go a Pollo Loco, they go a Jamba Juice, they go Walgreens, you know what I'm saying? So you go to the parking lot and basically have one-stop shop on everything you need because it's a flagship. They got the route, they got the food for less there, and people go food for less and they go to other things. Oh, I go here, I go there. You know what I'm saying? You go to where the Rams play at SoFi Stadium, right? They got SoFi Stadium right there. But before you go to SoFi Stadium, like when you get to a street called Crenshaw, the next big street over it is SoFi Stadium. But before SoFi Stadium and before the stadium, you got all kind of eateries, In-N-Out, Pollo Loco, Taco Bell, Jamba Juice, the grocery store, In-N-Out, Staples, Target. You got all these stores because you got SoFi Stadium right there, and across the street you got where the Clippers play at right there. So it's gonna be consistent traffic, food, and stuff like that. So all them businesses over there is building up the motels, and and all of them hiring. Why? Because the flagship stadium is over there. Same thing with the Lakers play at. Same thing with the Clippers play. I mean, the same thing happens with USC play. All over LA, you have these flag things where people build businesses and they make their money off of tourism. So the more people come, the more people visit, the more people spend money, right? The more money they make. And people have to make money in order to spend money. Huh? So when you give people a tax break all around the board, the $300 tax, and the rich, right? The rich are able to go down on their product. Well, I'm not paying these high products. I'm not paying these high prices, right? Because if I was say in a store, right, and I was competing against somebody, and we all got a tax break, I'm going to try to make my product as low as possible, you know, to make money. So to make money, so for not a profit, but for speed. If I can sell more Nikes than everybody else because I made them $20 cheaper or $15 cheaper, right? And I'm still, and while other Nike players making $50 off of Nikes, I'm making $30 off of Nikes, right? My shit is gonna sell faster than them, right? Because people gonna want that $20 discount. Well, I can buy Nikes over here for $150, but the same Nike at Black Rosebud store costs $130, right? So I'm gonna take that $20 loss, but I'm gonna make it up because I'm gonna make it up in speed. More people are gonna come to me. Now I got their business because they know every time they go to another store, my store, they're automatically gonna come to my store and it's gonna be $20 cheaper, right? So now I'm getting businesses, right? So now what's gonna happen is my supply is gonna go up and their supply is gonna go down. So either they're gonna have to go down on their prices to compete with me, or they're gonna go out of business, right? So the same thing happens with any competition in the world, like Donald Trump is trying to do a competition in capitalism, right? So if I make my product, I'm selling, that other person to compete, right? That person gonna have to go down on their prices. And who ultimately wins? The customer. Because now they have people competing for their money. So I'm going to lower my price. I'm going to give you deals and stuff like that. And the customer ultimately wins when it's competition. When there's no competition and you have to go to the store or you have to pay this price or you have to buy this product, right? There's no competition. They can set it for what the fuck they want to. But if somebody was having to sell it at a cheaper price, right, and made it the same product or it was the same product, right? You're gonna buy the cheaper price if it's the same product, and the higher price gonna have to come down in order to sell their shit, or they're gonna be stuck with it. I'm gonna keep on selling $130 until, because people gonna keep on coming until you go down. Now, when you go down, right, you know, shit your shit to $135. People not really tripping on the $5 if they got to go way across the town. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta say, damn, I gotta drop my shit to $115 now, cause I gotta stay $10 at least cheaper than the next motherfucker. The customer wins, huh? Because more people able to buy the product because now we competing. You know what I'm saying? And it could be supply and demand, right? It could be or it could be supply and demand. The product goes down because now you can make more and you can still make a profit. But now you pay limited edition shit like George limited edition shit like that. They make it like that so because they're making money off of it because they know they can't keep a supply and demand of them. So we're gonna push this many out. And y'all buy this many, then we're gonna come out with another ones next week. You can buy, I mean, it's a limited edition, so either you get them or you don't. It's actually smart. Because they don't want to, because if Jordan know if they sold shoes and they made them so basically everybody can wear them, their price will have to go down. But if you sell them as a limited edition and say, hey, this is going to come out, when they're gone, they might not come out for another year, people are automatically going to jump on, oh, let me get them. Because if I don't get them, I never get them again. I never see them again. They ain't going to come out this color or this style for a couple of more years. So let me get them right now. Right? You got to do the same thing because when more people make money, more people will spend money. So it doesn't matter if inflation goes up. It don't matter if prices goes up, right? Because that's going to happen throughout time because of the granny clause, right? The dollar never, the dollar bill always stays the same, right? With every dollar, every denomination of dollar, it never goes up in value or it never goes down in value. So it's always going to be a dollar can't buy the same thing a dollar used to buy you 10 years ago. It's always going to be like that, right? But if people make enough money where they can live comfortable and they make higher wages, right, and they make the wages above inflation and they can spend money at a current rate, right, they're gonna make more money. You can if you go down on taxes, the employee can spend more on their employees, they can spend more on fixing the store. They can spend more on certain things if they're paying, because they have to make a profit in any business. I don't give a fuck you're selling dope. They have to make a profit, right? But I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'm gonna make more videos. I'm finna find some research for some videos tomorrow. I'm gonna do some. Hopefully, I can do a skit. I can get the right information out. If not, I'll be back with another. Wait a minute. Oh no! Tomorrow, I think I'm gonna go to a open mic. I know what open mic. I was supposed to go to one last night, but I know what open mic at, so I'm finna do a skit. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna get up and tell the joke what the purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Even if these jokes not funny, I always can use these jokes on a skit, and it's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I get the time and stuff like that, so I knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. So I'm finna write me a joke, right? Tonight, right? Say it on stage tomorrow. Something I can throw away, something I never use in my skit. So if anybody on my Black Rosebud page who see some of my skits and stuff like that, like, hey, nobody's laughing in the crowd, because most of the shows that's gonna be like me doing that is going to be open mic. So it's going to be a room full of comedians, right? It's not going to be no audience and nothing like that. These things are just for practice, so you get the time and you can practice new jokes and stuff like that. So when you do go on stage, you can supposedly use these jokes that you practice on and stuff like that. You try it out, because you can't try out jokes, right, when you're on a set or you're paid, you're getting paid for a performance or something like that. You can't just go up and like, well, let me try this new joke out. Nah. You're supposed to try these jokes out in like an open mic, you know what I'm saying? In case the joke don't work, and then you're like, oh man, let me rewrite this joke, or I'm not gonna use that joke. These are for them type of things, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so fucking funny, you know what I'm saying? I still have people laughing when it's all comedian. That's what I'm good at, because of my natural comedy ability, you know what I'm saying? When you hear people laughing in the background and all that, them are comedians, me making comedians laugh. And comedians don't like laughing at other people's comedy sets. You know what I'm saying? Because they want the laughs for themselves. So when you make comedian laugh 1 or 2, you know what I'm saying, or they get your attention, you're doing something. And a lot of comedians in LA right? I don't even try to do most of my jokes. I just get up there and talk shit, right? And I'm still funny as hell. I don't even go up there with a set mind. I go up there and talk shit. So this give me something to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Make a quick joke. So I got a show coming up Thursday and Saturday. My main show is on the 26th, you know what I'm saying? My show. I can't do no rehearsed jokes and no shit like that. I gotta do my real jokes, right? But these comedy skits, so when you see them like, oh, ain't nobody laughing. Don't nobody's supposed to laugh. It's not for that. It's for the purpose of me writing. But the code thing I'm trying to do too, I'm trying to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm trying to see, can I do some kind of political jokes on stage, you know what I'm saying? And how can I connect with a black crowd? This is also the open mic is for, right? If I was to try some of these jokes on a black crowd, I'm trying to see what jokes were hit and things like that. And I think the joke I kind of done on the Donald Trump, the Trump deranged syndrome. I think if I can write a little bit more to that, take the joke out, write a little bit more to that, I think I can make that funny and turn that into like a 1-minute joke. Because if you can write a joke and you turn it into a 1-minute joke, 1 minute is like actually 2 or 3 minutes, because you got the laughs, you got the pausing, so you got the ad-libbing and stuff like that. So if you write a 1-minute joke, you know what I'm saying, to Trump deranged syndrome, you go on stage, you can make that last from 1 to actually 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So that's how comedians write. You know what I'm saying? They write it 1, they have to clap in and stuff like that. Okay, this is gonna be like this. Then after this joke is over, I can go to this, and then I'm going to end it with that. So they kind of got the timing in their head, And sometimes they leave jokes out and put jokes as to add jokes in if they go too fast and things like that. They got to add another joke in. If they got a good show and they're getting all the laughs and the show lasts too long, they got to leave some jokes out. You feel me? So now I got to write to it. That's a good thing about open mic. It's like, when you go and bat, you know what I'm saying? It's just you in the batting cage and the ball, right? Or you in the gym, you just shooting jump shots. These are just jump shots for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing on here, you don't get a chance to see a live audience. You don't get to look people in the eye. People can look at you if I turn the camera on, but you don't get to see people's natural reaction, right? And that's really funny because you get more energy like that when you can see people's natural reaction and things like that. And it humbles me because when I don't, like, even with open mic, when I don't do good in open mic, which I even kill an open mic when you ain't supposed to, right? Not to pat myself on the back, but even when I don't do good in that, I get frustrated because I love perfection, and everybody be like, "That's a good set, man. You're funny," and I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe I was as funny as I'm supposed to be, and I be hard on myself, right? Because I want to be the best, especially on stage. You know what I'm saying? So I be extra hard on myself. So what I do is, if I don't put on the set that I want to, right, and everybody still think it's funny, and I don't think it's funny, I go back to the same club, you know what I'm saying, and I write a whole better set. So it humbles me sometimes, you know what I'm saying. I get mad when I don't do as good, and I'm not talking about the laughs. I'm talking about the timing and remembering the joke and stuff like that. I didn't think I'd done good because even though the joke came out, it wasn't how I wrote it or the things I wanted to say. So I got frustrated in that. Now I'm mad. So now when I go to the next club, the same club, I'm gonna prepare not a joke that I would use, but just a joke to test my time and stuff like that. Make it funny for them, you know what I'm saying? Just so I can test my timing and my remembrance and stuff like that, because that's what you need these for. I gotta test my timing and my remembrance and and all that stuff, and that's what these things are for. So you're gonna see the result. Hopefully, one of the results tomorrow, because I'm gonna write me a joke today, and hopefully you will see the results tomorrow. I'm out of here. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this show. I'll see you probably tomorrow or Friday when I write this skit, this damn racist Democrat skit. I gotta let them have it. Oh shit, is it? Oh, it's stuck. Oh, it's stuck. I guess I've got to wait on it to get unstuck. See what I'm saying? I'm supposed to put my shit. I've been this shit having all these damn jobs promoting club. I'm a club promoter. Oh my god, I be doing some busy shit promoting clubs. I gotta get some flyers made. I got a comedy show. Oh my god, I gotta put down payments on the club. I gotta pay a cameraman. I gotta do commercials. Oh my god, I gotta edit. But this is the life you choose. If you wanna live your dream and you wanna be able to do what you wanna do, you gotta make sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do mentally or physically, but you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it takes for you to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Because you can sit on your ass and you can be like, well, I don't feel like doing it today. Or, I don't. But who wins like that? How you gonna be a winner if you don't sacrifice, right? You can be ordinary or you can be extraordinary, right? And to be extraordinary, that is extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole word extraordinary, extraordinary. So you want to be extraordinary. Oh, here you go. You want to be extraordinary, you got to do extraordinary things. And sometimes that's doing things that other people don't have the courage to do, right? Don't have the will to do, don't have the knowledge to do, right? And don't have the self motivation to do. It takes motivation to get up here when you don't want to, like, oh man, let me get up here and do a live. It takes motivation, you know what I'm saying, to stop your day and edit and things like that when you be doing other things. And basically, when you don't really get no money for it, it takes dedication, it takes loyalty, it takes a lot of things, But you got to stick with it, because if this is your dream, if this is something what you want to do, you can't look at, hey, I ain't getting no money right now, or you got to look at it when I do get money. All this stuff I'm doing will be worth it, because I get my channel back, I get my viewers back and stuff like that, and I'll be able to do my live videos. And then when I get to sell them doing movies and stuff, I have the people here, you know what I'm saying, and that stuff, you know what I'm saying, they can show my movies or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then I get viewers back. So it's not just a right now thing. I'm looking for the long time future goals and stuff like that. That's why I still get my ass up here and do these YouTube videos and don't ask for donations and no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still looking at the long-term goal. You don't have no long-term goal, you can't have no short-term goals. I'm out of here. See you later.